Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Confidence. Its one-year mission? To train the next generation of Starfleet. To seek out new life and new civilizations. To help all who go where no one has gone before.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nat 13's Star Trek Ascendance. I am your game master for this game, and with me, as always, the next grouping of our crew members. Say hello, everyone.
Greetings and salutations.
Oh my gosh, you're all wonderful, man. This is.
He doesn't say Imagineers or problem children.
I know, right? Like it's like, wow, what a new group name. This is, of course, our Star Trek group, based on D&D 5e, Star Wars 5e, a lot of homebrew. I'm not going to say it every time. Watch the previous stuff. We've got an amazing group, and of course, if you're watching, this is a bit of an anthology where you can watch any of our sessions, all a part of the same universe and the same crew, in fact. Because last we saw you guys making your way through the most intriguing of quizzes and exams. From the rocky shores of Vulcan, climbing a tower, mid-space, even a written exam, truly the hardest of them all, to a full and entire simulated holodeck twist of course, instead of it being your traditional, like, let's go explore, they tricked you into thinking this was a deadly experience, the Kobayashi Maru, this old test that happened, and now, having finished the simulation, literally coming out of the deck, you hear, of course, the voices starting to talk, the deck is simulated. All of it was a ruse to make you think it was a true life or death somehow, probably to figure out what you would have really done. That this test wasn't really measuring maybe true intelligence, but some of those attributes that are hard to define.
Soft skills.
Soft skills,
Yep.
yes, indeed. We come now to...
The actual android's like, what the hell are soft
Yeah.
What's going on? You all see Admiral Rick Shaw is walking out. You see, again, this very grizzled, more man. Alright, cadets. Well done. Please head back to the examination entrance hall. We're going to be bringing you into some interviews in a moment. Thank you much. Kind of gives you a salute. You all, try to start walking through. As you walk out, you realize you have a bit of time. Like, he asks you kind of like go back to the hall. But is there anything people would want to do in this moment? Or like, as the test has just ended, I will say all of you are getting that best example when you wake up from a big, heavy dream or nightmare, and it's like, whoa, what's real and what's not? Wait, okay, I know what's real. It's real life. But there's, exactly, right? And your mind is still trying to catch up to what just happened. That's how deep they really pushed the simulation, because they wanted it to be that, like, oh no, what's going to happen?
Do we know how long our break time is?
You feel like you'll probably have a good half hour or so. It's not like we could, like, run and grab food. I could go to the bathroom. I could, like, talk to someone, like, before, like, someone looking for me.
Well, how did y'all think we did?
That
As
sucks.
as he asked that, I'll be sort of just like outwardly scanning and listening to what these other cadets are saying, gather a bunch of information, be like, in comparison to the other cadets that went through their exams, I believe we performed in roughly the 88th percentile.
That's pretty good, actually.
That's pretty
Honestly,
damn
what do you
good.
expect?
And it's not like, well, but, like, you left behind, and everything was going wrong, and, like, we didn't know what to... Oh, okay. Like, as all of you are also starting to overhear cadets talking about, like, damn, no way, they gave us a Kobayashi Maru, that was a no-win, what did you do? Man, we died, like, oh, we tried to run, Like, you're starting to overhear as more and more cadets are filling the hallways. You're even hearing some cadets are talking like, yeah, we, like, led them through a chase through the neutral zone, or, oh, we tried to, like, blast into one of them but failed, like... There was a lot of stuff you can do, and it's becoming more of that fun of like, oh good, everyone lost, so let's talk about how we lost. So yeah, in this moment though, any other like big things before we move into the interview portion?
Everybody good?
Yeah, I'm good. I feel a lot better now.
Oh yeah, like for sure. I will notice any and all blood or like you thought was
Yeah,
combat
just, like,
is
checking.
all gone. The simulation went hard to be like, if we put a little bit of water on your forehead and make it look red. Oh no, I've got a head wound, or oh the chair is sparking. All light and sound, baby.
Hey.
All
magic.
hardcore.
Yeah,
Holodecks,
basically, we're on
and
a
this will be
universal
important for the
ride or
campaign.
something.
You can do a lot in holodeck. If you're really not sure of what it is, dang, it can mess your mind up if you stay in there too long.
Well, as far as our options for what we could have been randomly lumped together with, I am grateful I went in with all of you. And especially grateful we had supped in such an apt commander.
Thank you.
In this moment, you guys have kind of like made your way through the halls into this big examination room. Friends are finding friends, colleagues and teachers are starting to talk. As everyone wants to know what happened, in this moment, actually, I will say some of you are about to be approached by people.
Oh goodness.
Making sure I tell you the right people. That's actually the important thing right now, because I want to... Here we go.
How did that happen?
In this moment, Mondo, you are approached by a cadet that you've seen in some of your classes. You think their name is like Lily Turner, right? Just runs up and just like, hey, Mondo, right? The mask. Yeah, how'd you do? What kind of roles did you do?
I was the engineer.
Oh? Like, and you get, they're like, I was, like, on weapons and shields. Why'd you choose engineer? That's cool.
I like machines.
Okay. All of you see,
Lily Turner tries so hard.
so yeah, how'd your guys is, like, immediately bring it more to the group?
I just start spewing all the numbers.
Yes!
Oh, yeah, 27% of Astro... Oh, and 98% failure of a ship. Oh, and, like...
Yes, we worked together pretty well.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Okay.
group cohesion was at a high of 78%.
Yeah, I think they're calling my name. As you actually do realize, assembled Fleet Admiral
Poor
Hank
thing.
Noble
Tries to
has
be so-
taken the stage. And so immediately everyone's like at attention. Coming up again, this very more like solemn man. Cadets, that was a wonderful display you've performed for us today. We shall be moving, of course, into your personal exit interviews. If you would be so kind as to line up first, of course, if your species does not use the common alphabet in ranking of importance of consonant to vowel, then into, of course, the common by last name, going forth, of course, with the alphabetical common. Finally, if your name is dealt in numbers or symbols, lining up lastly. And you're noticing, like, people, because there's those, like, more aliens of, like, yeah, okay, my name is more pronounced through, like, screeching, so I should, like, stand up first. Or seeing you're probably that, like, oh, yeah, because technically
End of the line.
it's a nickname, but I'm 0R, like, denotion.
That designation 0R3SN.
And you think it's, like,
I said that
if you don't have, like, a last name, it might be by your name, what they
I
would
was
call
about
you.
to
I was
say, I
gonna
only
say,
have one
yeah.
name.
Jamie and Jumbo are in that same boat of, like, I've got a J. Like,
This
what
is Akko.
this is, what do I do with this? So it's very much quickly starting to go around,
Well, I
figuring
guess
out
I
what to
realize
do.
the
It
last
is our
name
last
was
name.
such a good distinction these days.
It kind of is.
That would be a correct assumption.
Here we go. Let's
Where's the
figure out who
Best
do
of
we
luck with your
start with.
interviews.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.
So we've got a couple people. I actually don't know who we're going to start with. This is interesting. I have to.
Yeah, sorry. I kind of blanked out, so I figured Katira would probably blank out.
L comes before M. J comes before L.
Is this last name?
She's like A, B, C,
Going by
D,
last name.
F,
And
G,
so,
H,
Guilford,
I, J,
Mondo, you
K,
actually
L.
start first.
Okay.
Then we'll go Jamie, Jumbo, Katira, McTavish, and Orson.
Wow.
It's kind of easy, no initiative needed, because it's that natural, like, here's a pretty systematic way of doing it.
I put my email in wrong.
Oh no. So here we go. We are starting in. We're gonna, of course, move to different lights and music, of course, because we're not in initiative. We're no longer holodeck. Now it's time for some cool jazz. No, I'm kidding. This is, of course, much more chill vibes in this moment. As we move in, we are going to start. And important to note, what you're realizing is as you are approaching, or rather, like, getting ready to, like, come in and talk to whoever you need to, you will be speaking. It's like you're going to be having your interview with one of the admirals, and I will be just kind of, like, rolling randomly. They're holding multiple interviews, like, people are coming in and out, to just kind of, like, see who you start with. So, let's begin. Interesting. So that is going to be a 3. you're going to meet with Admiral Stansfield. You see, again, Admiral Stansfield, the much more stern woman, that tight bun, very like what McGonagall would look like maybe back in her 30s, 40s, like much younger woman.
Young McGonagall.
Yeah, right. Like you get that immediate, like, oh, she's no nonsense, but she does probably care about people. But you're not going to be like, hey, let's hang out. So immediately, Mondo, you are kind of being led into a room. Immediately, Admiral Stansfield, before the door closed, Cadet Guilford, please take a seat. As you sit down, she's starting to look through your test, kind of going through. All right, Mondo Guilford performed exceptionally well, of course, in most of our physical training exercises. Passing grade, of course, in the written test. An interesting choice using engineering, of course, for the whole simulation. Now, in this moment, you're actually realizing she has a bit of an interesting look as she's going over your record. And I would love for you to make an insight check in this moment. And for the rest of you know, like, this is kind of what's going to happen. Is they're going to talk through, like, your performance and stuff and whatnot.
Okay, sorry, I'm in the wrong. There we go.
Oh yeah, pull up before you roll.
I have different characters.
No, yeah. Oh, I feel that all the
Yeah.
time where it's like, who am I rolling for? Go for it.
No, freaking 20.
Are you serious?
I'm not even kidding.
That's interesting.
Nice.
Would you like to meet me in the hallway?
Oh, sure.
Not again.
Dude, I rolled so sucky.
Freaking
last
Gus
night.
did this
Thank
too.
you.
Oh,
really? I know I need to switch
Just
dice.
slightly put
Yes,
this
for
away.
his character.
I will be
Also,
back in a second. You guys, of course, can talk. And
I
this is that
might do
natural
some
what you do.
shenanery. Because we
Yeah.
rolled like we're all waiting.
Sam?
That's true. We can
Shenanigans?
indeed.
Yes,
never
I meant
would
to do it
have
before
thought.
she went in, but I can do it now. Which of you is slightly inept in social situations or interviews? I wouldn't believe it is you. And you had an occupation for many, many years.
I'm good.
So would you two like an additional expertise?
What?
Wait, permanent or
Basically, I can give you potent aptitude. I can give you guys a D4 version of Bardic.
But not
Nice.
permanently. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, hello, what? I'm incompetent
I
in
mean, I
social
could.
situations, please.
I'm okay.
Lies. I detect you are being untruthful.
I detect I'm being manipulative, but thank you.
So yeah, I'll use both my potent aptitudes.
That
because
is
I think
so
we can short
cool.
rest
Thank
this time.
you.
Nice.
Because
Cool.
we got a short rest in the other group before going in.
That's fair, yeah.
So yeah, I will. You get a D4 and you get a D4.
That is so
It's
cool.
like a
man.
one use, like a bardic.
Yeah, it's a bardic, but for the engineer class.
That's very cool.
That's awesome.
So it's similar to the D4 that you were using to add to intelligence. Your intelligence modifier.
So that's one of my class abilities.
And she just adds the modifier.
Oh right.
Yeah.
This is more similar to Artificer Stroke of Genius.
I
Oh,
see.
nice.
But instead of a modifier, you giving them the modifier, I give them a dice, and
yeah.
it'll go up as
Okay.
I level up.
That's so cool.
That's very
I like it. It makes you know the engineer. Not only are they a full caster in Star Wars 5th Edition, but they also get some bardic shenanery.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really
I love that.
interesting.
It's really fun. Also, so I got that, and I think I had another randomness thing I could do. Maybe not. Maybe I'm insane. No, I'm insane. We're good.
That's okay. That's how you fit in.
The rest of them are just for me.
Nice.
That's
There you go.
So,
Yeah. Well, you've got a lot going on playing two characters.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I made Orson very complicated, so that because I love complicated characters,
of course.
so I could have fun.
Mhm.
And Aaron, as his character, I made the simplest thing I could.
Oh,
That makes a lot
He
of
is
sense.
human, fighter.
That
Yeah.
actually honestly makes a lot of sense. So, because then
It
it's
does.
easier to keep the two.
But you were the
straight.
human who did the twin thing, right? Of you
Yes.
just
Yeah.
had that weird genetic lottery.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's
And
the
I got the
funniest.
human half.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's my favorite. Yeah, go watch the session if you want to. It was actually really good.
Mhm.
I was Aaron's depressed now.
Oh.
I'm joking. He was
Captain.
depressed, but then he just turned it into motivation, and I'm
Good
setting him
job.
on a different character arc because initially it was gunning for captain. If he gets close, awesome. If not, then I don't know what I was gonna do. Now I know what I'm gonna do.
Nice.
Oh, that's
So-
cool.
Yeah, it ends up in the lower decks.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of.
What
I
is
basically
this?
failed the test,
Oh
and
no.
so for anyone curious who wasn't there last time, or all of you guys, in my interview, I actually got interviewed by my dad.
Awkward.
And which shouldn't be allowed to happen, but
Yeah.
it did. And basically, there were a few of the admirals who had petitioned for me to have to take another year. Which, character-wise, for Aaron, he would have preferred that.
Yeah.
Because his whole thing in the family is, if I didn't earn it, I'm going to go earn it.
That makes sense.
Over some shenanigans went on, and he's
Interesting
ranked
stuff.
higher than everyone else in my session, rank-wise.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, dang, your poor session did.
Dodgy.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And,
so
Oh,
sorry.
did you tell him
he's
about-
not- Aaron's
So
not
that's
happy.
better.
Yeah.
Aaron is going through a character arc of pissed off.
I love that.
Because depressed would have been, I guess I gotta try harder next year. Pissed off is what happened.
I love
That's
that.
awesome.
Here we go.
I love
Making
it.
sure everyone's
That
But
makes
yeah,
it
we
a
were just
lot.
talking about how Aaron
you're
is the human fighter, basic of basics.
finishing up some of that insight.
Doesn't mean that Aaron was cool.
The last stuff, Stansfield kind of goes through and just. Mondo, question I have for you. Why engineering? I'm looking at your scores. You're beautifully proficient at hand-to-hand combat. You would have done well, of course, even going over yourself in the style that Mtavash did to work a way around by fighting Clown Captain, but you chose engineering. You have quite a many skills and quite a good repertoire. I'm curious. Talk me through your thought process.
People are complicated, and machines are simple. And while I understand people, sometimes I don't. They interest me, but I don't understand always. So I chose machines.
Interesting. Would it then be unwise to give you position of a chief communications officer?
That would certainly stretch me. Perhaps in
We in Starfleet
a
believe
good way.
this would help stretch you.
Then I would accept.
Chief Commander Mondo. She kind of gives that simple smile of, this is, as again, you did really well. You think again, harkening back to the last section, you did great stuff. It was you got some insane good rolls and scores overall. And again, it was also that they looked how you all worked in a party, how you did in roles, and so it was that good job. You could have done anything, and so it was that curiosity of and yet you did engineering. We'd love to hear the thought process because that's so much of what Starfleet is. Awesome. Mondo, your interview concludes. Again, they're pretty short interviews. They're really this more 2 to 3 minute, let's talk through. And you get that feeling of, because they may have already, I don't want to say made decisions, but it is supposed to be that we want to know. Moving onwards, Jamie.
Please get the same lady.
I did not know I needed that.
Well,
until
wasn't
this
that the lady I got for
moment.
my entrance
Yep.
interview?
You got that lady.
She's just like, oh, again.
Again.
What are
We're
the
again.
odds?
She scares me.
Orson's like,
You
oh, the
Jamie.
odds are.
Yeah, right?
She scares us all.
You walk into the
Jamie's
interview
awesome. It's the
and see Admiral Stansfield.
I love it.
That's hilarious. I rolled the same number twice.
Well, hello again, ma'am.
Yes, Cadet Jamie. Please come in.
I'll shuffle in.
You shuffle in and do that puppet sit on a chair where you just kind of lean back into a seat. Go through cadets. All around above board proficiency skills.
Thank you, ma'am.
Incredible work. Your written tests, of course, were on par with only one other student in terms of just pure academic knowledge. Not, of course, the best. If you were curious, you did rank only in the 98th percentile of the graduating class, but only 98. She gives that very similar, kind of that smile of I'm smiling to let you know, well done. Let's talk about your simulation.
All right.
You're good.
We're going to put this simply. Some of the most admirable work as a medical officer.
Thank you, ma'am.
Able to keep complete control of your own station. Able to assist the officer in command, as well as other groups in your boarding party. If this was a true scenario, I have no doubt that everyone would not only have survived, but have been medically perfectly fine.
Thank you, ma'am. That was the goal.
You've impressed me, Cadet.
You're in the middle. 'Cause you want
I did not assume that a creature, such as yourself, could go far in the medical profession, but we are always happy to be proved wrong in Starfleet.
Let's just say my nature gave me a great incentive to learn about others.
Reads your file. Indeed. Chief Medical Officer Jamie, you are reporting then to the USS Confidence. You'll receive a data pad, of course, later this evening. Godspeed.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hang on.
As you exit your interview.
The he's internal now because like it was a very formal interview,
Wow.
but she's very happy.
You mean- like comes
It's
out.
not on the inside.
All of
and
us
then
when
the second the door
you
closes
ace the
behind her.
test, the second the door closes,
Yeah.
it feels good. Well done. Jumbo, you're up next. Let's see who you
Yes.
visit. Finally someone new.
Okay.
I'm like, we've got a couple
That would be
admirals.
hilarious if we just kept getting her
Okay,
for our
so it's
party.
like important
She
to
just
know.
got all of
There's
us.
about 15 top admirals in more of a council position in
This
Starfleet.
is really you.
We're only ever going to run into about 4. Fleet Admiral Noble, he's the head, and like a couple of the ones that like work here. So I'm like, I want to make sure we meet. You're going to be having your interview with Admiral Rick Shaw.
Okay.
Sitting down, Jumbo. Again, door opens. You see Rick Shaw. Cadet Jumbo, have a seat.
Sit down.
Well, let's look at your test. Let's see here. Jumbo, I'm gonna be honest. You are not the kind of officer I want in the field.
Just a little more.
Your athletics and acrobatics are not great.
That's
I'm
true.
imagining very buff
That's
Yoda.
true.
You are a scientist.
You, though, in fact, scored in the 98th percentile of all cadets on your written test.
Ooh.
Damn if you don't have an eye for science. As that keen mind really helps out.
Oh,
It really is that, like, information.
I gotta know who did better on the tests than the people with
I
keen
know
mind.
who
I'm
did
very
better.
curious.
You know who did better only because a certain admiral let slip to someone earlier in the interviews. They're not supposed to say.
I'm so curious.
Well, now here's what's interesting. You did great. Not gonna lie, you did actually most best in the lifeline scenario where we shut off the life support, having to work through. You did great on that. You got powerful lungs, powerful mind. You did really good. Talk me through the simulation. What did you think you did well?
I did the written part of the simulation very, very well.
Damn straight.
As far as adapting to circumstances that were necessary, I think I did well at that.
Please take no offense when I say you Illyrians adapt better than anything in the galaxy. Well done.
Why take offense?
Well done. Wait.
I was so worried. Like, what was he gonna say?
Illyrians, and I know I've got, I have colleagues that don't trust Illyrians. Working with genetics isn't great. Honestly, only Hank and I have really ever felt the openness to have you amongst the crews. But you did very professional out there. Now, your simulation, this is what I want to talk to you about. On the deck during the Kobayashi Maru,
Yes.
you were able to take charge, and you didn't do bad. There was definitely something to be improved upon. I don't think your role is going to be commanding others anytime soon.
Agreed. I was hoping you'd say that.
But, hoping you could teach him. As you thought smart, you worked your way through that simulation quite well. We'd like to offer you Chief Science Officer. of
Yes,
the
I'll
US.
accept.
Oh, yeah. That one cut him off. Rick just, shakes your hand. Cadet.
This is what I wanted.
Excuse me, Commander. Godspeed. As takes that, as you're gonna get to work in the labs, you're gonna be that person. Yeah,
Grinch
Jumbo
smile.
walks out. Grinch smile. Like, this is kind of what you wanted. You work and
You
you,
What they
basically
just
got free
did.
reign for the science.
you just gave me
You're like,
your lab.
Geneticists are back.
Here we go. And seriously, Jumbo, you know you did well
Yeah.
and good. It was that really fun. Tira.
This was unfortunately not.
I have to rate yours for just a moment. That's a bit without regulation, but I'll explain why in a second. McTavish, we're going to come to yours. McTavish, you are brought into a room, no roll needed, with Fleet Admiral Noble. Good afternoon, McTavish. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
McTavish, across the board skills.
Thank you. My tail's now kind of waving a little nervously.
Now, I want to, if you would oblige me, look at one of the holo recordings.
Hey.
He pulls up the life support recording. And permit me if I allow this, but we watch as everyone's running around, holding their breath. Again, Orson doing really well, just like trotting around without the need. We watch you take that moment. You have every opportunity to keep going. You actually realize you're about to pass with flying colors. Like, you're at the station to, like, flick a switch. Stop. And fail.
Yeah.
As it ends. Now, cadets, I am not a perfect man, but it looks to me like you purposely wanted to fail that task. In fact, if to my understanding, due to your completely above board grades and your natural leadership position aboard the Kobayashi Maru simulation, without that one score, we would have had a perfect test.
Mm-hmm.
He stands up at this moment, and it's gonna look at you, but he kind of like walks over to this window. Please, anything?
It's just a little mistake.
McTavish, have you ever heard the expression, ignorance is the parent of fear?
Heard something similar to that, yeah.
By not letting yourself achieve potential, by making sure, according to a book, you shouldn't have passed, one has to wonder what you're afraid of and what ignorance that stems from.
Right.
I've read your files.
Mm-hmm. So you know then.
And I believe you know what I'm going to say next.
Believe so.
Captain Mtavash, we would like to assign you to be the captain of the USS Confidence.
I accept.
You are a wise man, Mtavash. Captain McTavish, as is custom, you are to choose a first officer.
What's your character's name again?
Katira Lethal.
I'm gonna pick Katira Lethal.
I've sent my report. Captain.
Thank you, Admiral.
You will have your data pads, of course, and of course time this evening to yourself. But be advised that I will need to meet with you at 0500 hours tomorrow morning before the official launch of the Confidence.
Yes, sir.
At Astra Paraspora.
At Astro Paraspora.
As he nods, you get that like, whoa, like feeling of, in his eyes, he has just what we could describe as clockwork. A lot of thoughts, a lot of things as he watches you go.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know in this moment, what are you feeling?
Just like, damn it.
All the F-bombs for this one session used in this moment just
I
show
love
you
how
the moment.
everyone is pointing out,
Yeah.
yes, and he's just like,
No!
shit.
Yeah.
As I
Walks
think...
out, runs into your character and he just says, "Sorry."
Good luck.
Let's actually see. Katira. No way! is that? Sorry. Like, and it's like, what? What?
I need to punch
like a
you.
ghost.
Well, it's like-
Why?
It's that immediate, like, McTavish looked so mad. What's going on? Like, what happened in there? You walk in and see Admiral Noble is standing just... Fortune favors us. Cadet Lethal, please have a seat.
I sit down.
Cadets, finest physical examinations, high percentage, truly. An interesting written test. Do you mind talking me through your medicine portion of the test?
I'm unfamiliar with the book side of biology.
Use that as he just... I would, of course, highly
phrase.
advise becoming more well acquainted with medicine.
Yes, that might be beneficial.
Talk me through your holodeck simulation.
Okay, let's see. It was interesting to start going through and not quite sure whether we were working as a team or as individuals and chancing on the side of teams. And then things seemed odd because I thought that I'd become injured in reality when truly that was all a trick. It was well crafted.
Thank you. I personally designed it.
How lovely.
Cadet,
And
I've been a part of Starfleet for some time. When I first heard of the Kobayashi Maru from, well, I probably shouldn't say a friend, but an old acquaintance of mine, it very much intrigued me, the idea of having a no-win scenario.
to see what
Do you know that I personally don't believe in no-win scenarios? There are scenarios you either win or you lose.
I can agree with that.
Do you feel like you won or lost yours?
I feel if the goal was to save everyone, we lost. However, I believe that in a real life situation, that could be considered a win. Because without us, everyone on that ship would be gone. We saved most.
Interesting. Please, then, I am to offer you, of course, Lieutenant Commander, First Officer aboard the USS Confidence.
Oh, I do gotta punch him.
Kind of half smiles. It is a great
As
honor
you're realizing what the sorry meant.
to be trusted by someone
Mm-hmm.
for a position of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Do you accept?
Yes, sir. Yes, Commander. I can't remember his name. Like, I legit can't.
Admiral Noble.
Noble.
It's not like
Admiral Noble.
Hank Noble is what most
Mhm.
people know him as.
Thank you, Admiral.
Waves his hand. You walk out of the office. What are you feeling in this moment?
I go and deck him!
You could just. Yeah. There's immediately like you got like some of you are already out meeting. Like Kajira walks right up to McTavish, punches him in the face as hard as she can.
Fight.
I can punch really hard, too.
Jumbo just like,
Yeah, I'm in the corner going, yeah.
Do it again. Punch him again. Fine.
Misery loves company. Is that it?
how did that go last bolt?
Just seemed best.
I don't plan these things. You gotta know.
I
that.
know. There's, ah.
Hold on.
Alright.
Second introduce both times. Last interview both times. It's gonna be next week.
I don't know.
Oh, I love this. We're
Oh,
finally
the
meeting
guy?
one of the other admirals. You walk in and see a Vulcan woman. What we consider about Middle Ages. Admiral Tamu is her name. Cadet Zirwar S3M. Please come in.
Crispest salute you can get because it's not natural.
Yep, that's fair.
Admiral,
At ease. Please be seated.
thank you.
It's quite clear from your scores you're quite a competent android. Orson, from what I can tell, you performed admirably in almost all aspects. Perfectly, of course, in our life support scenario, and in most other attributes according to the Kobayashi Maru parameters. It seems only logical then that you should be chief engineer.
This does seem logical as well. I agree and accept.
Godspeed. As this was the funniest one of like the two most logical beings on Earth, a pure android and a pure Vulcan went, cool, yeah, let's look at your test. This looks great, this is what we're doing.
Totally logical.
He'll stand up and salutes, and thank you for calling me by a name.
Yes, I do believe that we've had androids in Starfleet. Do you wish to be called by some other name?
I like Orson.
Well then, Chief,
That's adorable. I love that.
Chief Engineer Olson will be your official designation. I shall file the paperwork to make it so.
Thank you, Admiral.
She kind of starts having, as a Vulcan's oh, is this your name? All right, my bad. As we come out,
Hey, August, quick question.
yes,
What color are the captain shirts? in
they
this
are
era?
a beautiful scarlet in this era. Are you starting to get that? Like, yeah.
No, he's
He's
making
making
it.
Hero Forge.
Yes.
Yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
I should do that. I couldn't find any
literally
good.
can't.
I couldn't find any good art for Orson.
Muppet, because if you
Okay,
take off the legs, it
That's
just
the
makes this
saddest
like
thing, the one downside to
stump
this
on the
character.
ground. It's so sad.
I mean, you take out the torso and the legs are still standing.
No, I tried to. I can't remember who I was trying to make a hero mini for. Oh, was it? Maybe it was for Elizabeth. Or I tried to make it someone. Yeah, you take off too many limbs, they just become a stump on the ground. You're like, ooh, it's rough.
That was a way to say that.
It-
Take
However,
off
you
too many
can
limbs.
take the legs and make them like the amputated legs, and then they stay
Yeah.
standing
Mhm.
or sitting, and then you put a long coat on them, you can't see.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can whip one up real quick and show you.
As we
Yeah.
come to you all, coming out, Admiral Noble, cadets, or should I say, many of you, officers full-fledged of Starfleet. Tomorrow morning at 0700 hours, please report to the shipyard for your transport to the USS Confidence at Astra Paraspora. Godspeed. Eruption of cheers as a lot of people. All of you looking around. Some people are like breath of release. Some people are really tense. Most everyone though is clapping and raucous cheering. Like, finally, I graduate. I can go to space. Like,
Yeah.
it's a really fun feeling.
Anyone else need some?
Is there anyone not clapping?
Yes.
Okay.
Orson, you're
Chug,
seeing
chug,
a
chug.
couple people. There's a couple ensigns that definitely look way too tense. There's some that like you're starting to know. Like, actually, you see one ensign in particular looks rather unhappy.
Is it Aaron?
Yep.
By any chance?
Yeah, there is a very unhappy ensign this day.
There's also a really unhappy Vulcan ensign.
But we'll get to that. Yes, there's a Vulcan. Only an android can notice, this is a Vulcan that seems displeased, as this Vulcan who
Intriguing to see
has
what
the
they-
slightest, it's not emotion, but it is that, like, natural, they've raised an
Bristles.
eyebrow, and it's like, oh, they raised an
I
eyebrow.
need Elle to like guest star or me guest star in their session just to like
Just for the chaos.
see her
Immediately, though,
like placid but secretly pissed off.
Oh,
everyone is starting to talk. People are coming over. For example, one of the first people that runs over is going to be Lily Turner, one of these ensigns. You see, Lily runs over. Just, did you all receive accommodations?
Mhm.
Awesome.
Indeed.
Mondo, hey. So, I don't know, and of course, there's this club that we all go to after graduation. It's kind of a tradition. Now I know we're not supposed to, like, go off campus, but they turn the other way. We all get to go to this club.
I'm in.
Oh, awesome, you're in. Okay, so, like, a lot of us going over, like, 200 hours? No, or 20 hours. 10 o'clock? Is that good with everyone?
Yes.
Where is this party?
Yeah.
The official... yes.
2 a.m. really?
Yeah,
the-
like, that's
the-
what I'm like, okay.
The official club
I was like,
is
it
called
starts at 2.
the Burning Comet. As it's a club, it's like the club bar rec, kind of like you can do everything. So like normally clubs, are just like dance. This is meant to be like you can come in and like play pool with your friends in the back. You can come get a drink. You can come dance. You can come perform.
So I'm gonna get out a paper and I'll be like, 200 hours. I'll write down the location. I'll be like, I'm sure that Lieutenant Shaw will love to hear about this. And then when she says that, or when she like reacts,
Yeah,
then I'll be like, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Wow. Dick. Okay. Just that like instinctive like wow.
Orson's like,
All right,
that is
you're
not
good.
his name.
That's not his
His
name.
name is Jumbo.
He's the chief science
His name
officer.
isn't
No, yeah.
mentioned either.
But no, you see, she's like, okay, cool.
I like this guy.
Don't worry, come along. Like, it's just open invitation. Want to make sure you guys want to come. Jeez.
I'll be there.
Yeah. You're like, all right.
Absolutely. I believe you all need someone to escort you back when you are all inebriated.
I will actually ask in this point. So you guys know it's maybe 2:00 in the afternoon. What she was saying is 2,000 hours. I did misspeak. It's like about 10.
2,200?
22, or excuse me, 2,200. Yes.
Yeah, like 2,000
Like,
is 8.
wow, I'm messing up everything.
It was Lily, it wasn't you.
Yep,
You
yep,
get
exactly.
it? I love it. 2,200 hours, about 10 o'clock. In this moment too, everyone's gonna have then a good 8 hours to like go home. You can take like a short rest if you want like abilities back and whatnot.
I will take another short
But in this time,
Yeah.
is there anything people want to do specifically? Do you want to like call home? Do you want to like look for something? Like there's a lot of there's a nice amount of free time right now. That good buffer time for anything. Orson, yeah.
So I, in my time at the academy, definitely found interest in cybernetics because as an android, cybernetics doesn't really apply to me. But
For sure.
the idea of an organic organism putting a machine in their body to become more like a machine, and so just a thought of I wonder if we could put more machine in a machine to make it more machine.
I love
Machine plus machine
pure
equals
logic.
more machine.
If a machine is good and more machine to therefore output the success. Yeah. No, it's very much
That's awesome.
I want to kind of look for something to increase some of my physical stats, basically.
You should
Go
talk
for
to
it.
The
What
scientist.
is that a
Genetic
possibility?
scientist.
augmentations. There are actually some of some of Starfleet's finest officers have had augmentation work. There's actually a pretty notable like chief engineer who's done
Are
some
you
of that
saying
on a
this
California
out
ship.
loud?
Like there's it's a pretty like fun thing to do. If you're gonna do that for sure, make an investigation check.
Don't mind if I do.
McTavish, you're going to be approached by some people during your long rest, or I shouldn't say long rest, but your break.
Yeah.
Is it hazing? Let it be hazing.
It's not. Couple of, all the new captains have to eat a wad of toilet paper. Oh, like yeah, no. Can you imagine that would be
Especially
the
coming
dumbest
up to a
story?
7-foot tall cat man.
Ooh, kitty afraid to eat toilet paper. No, yeah. One day we will have that.
I love that so
No,
much.
cool. Orson, what did you get for your check?
I got a 16.
A 16. You start going through. There's a lot of good stuff. What you're noticing is naturally, of course, it's an order in scenario. It's hard to just say like, oh, I just want stuff to augment. Ooh, right. You would have to like special order because a lot of people do rely on like you got to tell us what you want and then maybe we can work with it. But in your case, you will start coming up with a pretty good list, probably stuff you've already thought about of like, oh, this could work pretty well. Oh, I actually like the sound of this. This could be great. As all of this would help you in the field.
Perfect. And I'll make note of a lot of them, but the big one I'm looking at is this fun thing, called a few arms tech implements. And because I have modified my own phaser,
Correct.
my standard issue phaser, so I'm already proficient in that, and I have those tools. So looking at what materials or processes to augment myself during my maintenance period of a short rest.
I love it. I love it. Go ahead. I'll definitely apply that. We'll cut to one of McTavish's first encounters.
Oh boy.
McTavish, you are in your dorm, and it's probably that like initial like when everyone goes back to their dorm, and it's like I can change out because like you don't want to maybe go to the club in uniform, so it's like what do I wear? What do I do? Immediately you hear that beep, 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 at your door, kind of like a doorbell. Half eating food, like oh no.
Yeah, I go up and answer.
You see a young ensign, as you can tell. They've already applied their pip and a half. for a lieutenant junior grade is standing before you. Captain McTavish,
Aye.
may I come in?
Sure. What's this about?
Steps in. Captain McTavish, my name is Lieutenant Junior Grade Aaron Shaw. I am requesting permission this evening when members of my friends and group wish to go out partying and celebratory success to wear my phaser and have it set to stun only.
Reason?
Reason being, I wish to protect, of course, them. I do have a personal family member there, of course, to denote to other law enforcement, but simply for protection. I, of course, am asking you as you are now my commanding officer.
Understood. Permission granted.
Thank you, Captain.
I will be watching you tonight.
Of course, sir. On a passive insight, the cadet looks very strained. He definitely, like, what kind of cadet, like, mere hour and a half after getting assignments is immediately like, are you my captain? I want to ask you all the permission. And so it's like, wow, okay, this kid, ooh.
New bishop
looks,
got called. Go, go.
Yeah.
Geez, like, has daddy issues maybe. Like, you gotta, like, I'm sorry. But, you know, it's that very natural, like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
that was interesting. Leaves to go.
Effing weirdo.
The second that George went, that's a weirdo.
Spell, I suppose.
Oh, so
In this moment, any other stuff people want to do? Because there's a lot you could in prep for the party. There is a lab. Yeah, it's
What
school.
kind of stuff is
Mom's
in the
gonna
lab?
meditate and we're
And is it
Yeah.
available?
The Academy Lab is open 24/7, as there's always people doing their experiments, running stuff for classes. So it's very much that, like, you could go at any time because they have access to
No, I didn't.
everything but the horse itself, if we were to use that kind of, like, saying. Where it's like, you've got a lot of the bells and whistles, everything. What stuff they probably don't have is, like, the actual dying neutrino particles that are fading out of existence in perfect vacuum chambers. They probably don't have, like, pure actual replicated samples of alien species DNA. Like, the actual stuff, probably not, but a lot of really well done synthesized to practice. Or when they bring stuff in, they do have it, but usually it's like during the class time.
That makes sense.
Still
Yeah.
a lot of the equipment, though.
I'll go there and just study.
Yeah, go for it. Go ahead and just give me an intelligence check. Just kind of study it. I love everyone does that when they have to make a roll with K-pop. It's like, ha, ha, ha.
Intelligence?
Intelligence, for sure.
Okay, that's gonna be 18.
18. On an 18, there's a lot of good stuff you can learn here. Some of the biggest stuff, of course, is you're looking through, like, genetics, history, and maybe, like, basic other, like, xenobiology is something always important. Especially as a chief science officer, you're going to be required, like, chief medical officer is the one that has to fix them, but chief science officer, it's like, oh, it's important to note where things come from. You take them that kind of moment and look through and realize, like, yeah, like, there's a lot in history. Humans had a pretty fraught relationship with genetics, especially back in the 21st century. They had a lot of genetically modified conquerors and wars, and, like, dude, Earth back, you can't even imagine, like, how awful would it be to live in the 21st century on Earth? That sounds like a hellhole, right? So it's like, they're going through all this stuff. People modified and engineered themselves to create basically, like, what some people would call a god, but it's like, no, you're just evil. Like, but in going through, you are looking at a lot of fun stuff of, like, how the Federation, like, first banned it and then said, well, we don't want to ban it because there's a lot of good it can do, so let's try to, like, make fun regulation to, like, have better stuff and stats, until the point of you're getting back to, like, now the modern day where Illyrians, like, we modify ourselves all the time. Like, oh, dang, I need to be faster. Let me work on that. Like, I'm going to synthesize my own DNA to make myself faster, stronger, better. And it's almost, I'd say, on an 18, like, yeah, you could do that to yourself one day. Like, that, like, maybe if the situation really rises, it'd be nice to have a higher strength score, maybe. It would just take some time and effort. So you do a lot of that good studying. McTavish. Halfway through picking up, the door opens and you see Ensign Shaw is back, but he is not alone this time. You see, there's another ensign with him.
Hello?
Hello, Captain. I'm so sorry to bother you, especially as I know that you wish to attend parties this evening. I have a fellow ensign who had a request that we were hoping maybe you could help answer.
Alright, what is it?
You see this ensign who introduced so, and you would kind of like start realizing it's not natural. Like you're getting emails already of like, here's your crew, here's their names. And it's like, oh, I gotta know all this. Looking through Ensign Gray as it like Tyler Gray, Ensign Gray. I was talking earlier. I don't know if you're aware of my situation. I was technically born in the 21st century. Bit of time travel, kind of like jumped here, flash frozen.
Right.
I'm trying to get some information about my father. He was the one that kind of helped send me here. Earlier, I was speaking with one of the admirals, and they seemed rather excited and hungry about information on my dad, but in public record, there's not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a big ask, and it might not be possible, but as a captain, you would have clearance maybe to look at a record on my dad?
I'll see what I can do.
Oh, you mean like later? I was just hoping maybe we could just look now, just really quick.
Listen here, kid. I still don't know what I have access to and what I don't. You gotta give me some feckin' time.
I'm so sorry, Captain. You see, Captain, I am so sorry. I take full responsibility as
You
Ensign
don't
Shaw.
be a kiss ass.
Yes, Captain. You see, Cadet Ensign Gray just like.
This thing is just. too
I'm
good
so
at it.
sorry. Can you just, when you get time, here's my personal number.
Oh god.
Page me. I'm really curious because there's really no information about my dad, and I just want to know what happened to him.
I understand. I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
I'm just glad because I was worried they were gonna treat me like your secretary or something. I'm like, heck no.
Talk to my first grade. Yeah. That'd be like
Yeah, don't try.
all questions have to
Give you a
go
desk
through.
right outside my door.
That'd be so
Set up a
Well,
time to
if she
visit
can
with
stay
me when-
drunk the whole time, maybe she'd be okay with it actually.
Talk to so and so to set up a time to visit with me.
Yeah, just
Literally.
like,
Well,
They're
you
my
see,
office hours.
basically just like,
Yep.
I'm so sorry. I know you're busy. Here's my personal pager. Just smiles like, you're awesome. And honestly, also, congratulations on being my captain.
Thank you.
Thank you. And both the ensigns walk out the door as they did stuff during their party. I'm like, we're gonna resolve it later now because they're like, well, we want to talk to the captain. I'm like, oh, get ready, Mason. You're gonna have a lot of this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Okay, we resolved that. Awesome. In which case, are you guys ready to party?
here we go.
Oh, you wish. Oh,
You
wish.
do wish. Get ready. Oh, get ready.
I'm really
See,
worried.
you've gone through the party before. Oh boy.
I'm excited to go through this Orson.
Yeah.
As you walk in, the first thing, of course, walking in, I clicked shuffle. I'm a fool.
No, you were locked in.
Yep.
I am not locked in, actually, as it will be changing. Lights and sound. There are the various smells of like recreational drugs, stuff that's like, oh wow, if I was a certain alien species, this could get me high, but like as right now, it just smells weird. But for the rest of you, it is that very fun, like everything's kind of happening, everything's really fun. A lot of cadets are here. McTavish, for sure, it's easy enough to spot. When you guys come to the party, you immediately clock Ensign Shaw, who not only has his phaser, but is in light uniform. And just, like, nod, salute. And it's that, like, he is here.
Yep.
For the rest of you at the party, there's a lot you can do. You're seeing there's ensigns from all over. A lot of people are talking. You are also noticing not everyone is an ensign. There are a few other, like, commander levels, kind of like yourselves. But important to note, there are some cadets who are still cadets, who might just be coming along. It's that, like, you didn't fail, but we don't feel ready yet to give you rank. As important to note, you all actually, now having these rank and position, could be sent to other ships. This isn't just like, oh, you've graduated. It's like, oh, we're starting on the confidence. In a month or two, if we really want to, it could be like, hey, can you join another ship? Like, we want to transfer you. Like, you're awesome. Like, so some cadets are coming along without that privilege. It is that, like, you're going on a basically extended field trip to, like, really in the fields practice. And so there's that, like, some people are in corners bemoaning and drinking. Some people are dancing. But in this moment, I would like to go around. What's everyone doing in this moment?
I am going to go wherever Jumbo goes.
Interesting.
Jumbo is going into a corner to observe the behaviors of different groups of people.
I will bring him a chair and bring a chair and sit next to him. Shall we observe the strange workings of carbon-based life forms together?
Yes, yes.
People watching, man. I love it.
I tried to come up with the most scientific way of saying people watching.
People watching. I couldn't help myself. I'm like, this is people watching. I'm like, it's a thing people do. It's like, listen, I'm not a good club person, so I'll just like view the scene. For the rest of you, what's kind of the vibe right now?
Would Jamie be allowed to like shuffle up to your shoulders for a better like vantage point?
To a better
I can't see anything right now.
Sure.
So I think Jamie's just gonna like shuffle up and just like chill on his shoulder. Like, I can't see her drinking or anything, but it's the full Muppet. Like she's having a blast.
Yeah.
I love that so
Like
much.
again, to anyone looks, it looks like Jamie's half behind McTavish, like coming up over the shoulder,
You
not
should
on.
get it
It's
on the
always that
bar.
like,
Yep.
is someone behind? Are you? No, yeah, you're just a Muppet. Like, it's
Yeah.
always that like half thing. I will say, as you guys are arriving, I forgot I had to make a check.
How
For
much money do we have?
fun fact, you guys, all your starting equipment gold, like that, sometimes you would officially get,
Yeah.
would just equal credits.
Okay. Okay. I have
And if you
100.
didn't like, for yours
Okay.
being a little more specific, you have about the like 100 credit limit for
Okay.
being very specific. Same with Jamie, right? Like you both would be in that same boat of like I start with 100 because it's kind of like the what Starfleet gives you.
I
Most
just
drinks
looked at mine, I
cost
have
1 or 2 credits. Everything's pretty standardized. And there's a lot of good drinks. You actually see, so yes, Ensign Lily Turner comes up to, guys, you made it. Hey,
I'm hearing about her way too much.
Yeah.
Right.
hi, so,
Us sitting in the corner.
listen, hey, no, so, my friend said, sorry, I gotta get back. She points, you see an Andorian woman, a alien with a much more, like, flatter head, shall we say, and, like, a woman who's trill, very pink hair, are all kind of, like, dancing together. Just, sorry, I gotta go back with my friends. You guys said, listen, I'm sorry, this is so weird, but I did, congratulations, Captain.
Thank you.
First of all, can I get
How
you
did
guys
she
any
know that?
drinks, any stuff, or do you want to come dance? Are you guys just doing your own thing?
I'm just gonna walk away to the bar by myself.
I'm gonna walk over to the bar too.
You guys walk
never
in.
mind,
There's-
not by
yeah.
myself.
Well, except
It's
it's
like
like
that
that
peel
peel
off
off
to
You're like,
opposite ends of the bar.
So yes, there's like an upstairs balcony if people need like the fresh air. Farther back in, there's a lot of hollow tables to like play any game you want across any species. Like, of course, they can do our classic foosball ping pong, but if you really want, they can do some interesting Vulcan games, basically like high level chess. And finally, there is like a stage where, in this moment, you see a Phylosian, a plant person, is coming up on stage with a bunch of instruments. As they get ready to perform, you watch as
Wait! I love this song!
dum, dum, bum, 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 and the band strikes up. Cadet Lawrence Cucumberon really wanted to play for the party, practice the night away, and now this is the music for the party
I
for
love
everyone.
that.
It is a lot of
Ooh.
fun VeggieTale stuff. Everyone starts having a good time. It's just like, wow, the Phylosians have fun music. All right, Veggie
Yeah.
people, who knew? Everyone kind of rocks out. Everyone has a good time. Drinks are flowing. You guys come to the bar. There's a lot of people at the bar coming in and out. It's that classic. So this bartender, like, it's an alien. They've got like maybe a few extra limbs. Like you're noticing an extra arm mixing. Comes up. Right. What can I get you guys?
Whiskey and cream.
Whiskey cream. Got it for you, ma'am.
Can I actually buy in bulk
Milk. Got it.
and have it delivered?
Oh. Okay.
Okay,
Delivery.
extra.
I'm gonna need a data pad real signature. Because we can do
Alright.
deliveries. We got some
Perfect.
droids. You're gonna have to sign up on that. And I'm gonna make a check. Yep. Oh, no worry about tab. Gentleman down the bar got it. You turn. You see a guy raise a glass who looks a couple drinks in. Comes
I'm
over.
gonna bleed him dry.
That was the best. Bleed him
I said
dry.
I'm buying in bulk. I want to
I-
buy ingredients for my brewery.
I
brewery.
know. That's awesome. UC comes over. Hey, Hilton, Jack Hilton. Pleasure.
It's
Captain.
a pleasure, Jack Hilton.
Captain, first officer. Your helmsman.
Oh heavens, we're screwed.
Shit.
No, like best fucking pilot in the galaxy. Come on, like I one time you're gonna love this story. So one time I was able to pilot, and he starts going into the most boring ass story with no exposition, no character.
Oh honey, we
At
gotta
all.
teach you.
As this dude just no, I'm like it's gonna be great. Like Captain, I'm such a good leader. Like my ship, I realized like it was totally simulation, right? I kind of knew it, and so like I went in and I got my crew
Bartender,
to
can
do
I hop
everything.
on over?
Yeah, a bartender comes over. Yeah, okay, got that data pen set.
Can I mix up something to maybe? I want to make my own drink. I want to try, and I don't. Okay, so I'm a bartender. I know how these.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Right?
Where'd you work? What, Planet Side?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think of a bar name. Oh no, I'm horrible.
What's my bar?
The what?
The rusty
Rusty
bucket.
bucket.
The rusty.
Okay,
Rusty Buck. You see?
Bucket.
Oh hell yeah.
QB
No.
decided.
Planet
Okay.
Side, Planetoid.
The rusty chug. I don't know.
Rusty
I'm so sorry. I don't actually know.
Oh,
Like, I'm
are
telling
you
you,
one of
I'm
those?
telling you, I'm
Oh,
telling you.
yeah, no,
now.
you're good.
Okay.
Usually bartender though just is like, no, got data pen. No, you're cool. I get it. I just haven't had to make deliveries in time. Usually
No,
again
that's
club scenario. Sorry. Whiskey cream
you.
slides it on down. You
He's gonna
see,
just pull hands around and just start drinking it like Puss in Boots.
I can give this
you-
you to make it more interesting to talk to.
you are trying to give a drink. You see, no, I'm sorry. I tell you, Jack Hilton, I'm gonna be your best helmsman captain.
I'm just gonna take a
You're
couple
gonna
drinks
love
and start
me.
mixing it together
I'm-
to make it good.
I'm so excited to be a part of this.
I'm happy to hear that. Try this.
Go ahead and make me. You're gonna make me using your. I want to say charisma modifier is what we might call
I
this.
am okay with that.
Is you're gonna make it using your
Bartender
charisma
And
to make it.
proficiency.
Exactly, proficiency. You know this.
It's wrong. I don't know why.
That's a 19, sir.
A
Total.
19
It's the
total.
Ratio.
This dude takes a big old swig. Whoa! That's like the best drink I've ever had.
Of course it is. All right, what was that story you were telling?
You're a cool first officer, dude. And he like zogged your eyes, saying, "Oh, you might have got him too buzzed."
Come back in. Come back in. Come on.
No, and so like, listen, okay, and I'm like, I go up to these Romulans, I'm like, I'm Jack Hilton. I can pilot a ship.
I think it didn't work.
And he's still very boring, and honestly, kind of a douche. Like, some of us, you're like, dude, like, you're the main character all the time. Like, oh my gosh.
Alright, well, we're shipping out tomorrow, so you might want to go get some good sleep.
For sure. Yo, okay, so I gotta go say hi. I know that guy down
Yeah,
there.
I'm sorry to say this,
no, it's
but
cool.
please sober up tomorrow
He
morning.
stumbles off and starts like you actually see it's Ensign Gray. Like he comes talks to you as just like starts striking. You watch as he orders a round of shots
This is good.
and just starts bringing you over. Starts doing shots. I need to text stuff to people as you're all doing stuff, of course.
Can I?
Shit,
I'm
we're
gonna
all gonna
propose
die.
to Orson.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm not proposing to Orson. I would like to propose to Orson that we move up to the balcony, not to get fresh air, but to get
a better view.
vantage point.
Absolutely. The stairs are on the other side of the room. Would you like me to get us up there quickly?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. I'm going to grab you and I'm going to cast Jump Jet on myself.
Yes.
For tech casting, as you see
Yeah.
out of my uniform, as if my uniform isn't made of cloth. Because he's not really wearing a uniform. It's like what you can imagine common clothes. It's integrated into his body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
That totally
opens,
makes sense, actually.
and a little like jet booster comes out of his shoulder blades. As you grab your, hold on, as as
you
Jump
go.
Jet costs a bonus action, and
Yeah.
I boost myself in the air a total of 20 times my casting modifier of feet.
I love this where everyone watching these two dudes just and start going up towards the balcony. A bunch of people cheer, woo! Like just like we're going nuts. Like
Shall
people
I
like,
indulge
That'll be
them?
handy.
you see a bunch of cadets are immediately trying to like jump and grab the ceiling. You're just like, I can do that! Boom! And just like hitting the ground hard.
Yeah. I just, like,
McTavish, this is your crew. You go. Okay. Give me a second. I had to make some text to people doing stuff.
Okay, seriously though, I want like 100 credits worth of alcohol off of that dude's staff.
Oh, won't be the worst thing.
You are
ever.
gonna bleed him dry.
Yes!
Oh.
He's annoying.
You start going. A big old song comes in. McTavish. Someone's gonna come over to you to ask you some questions, of course, in this moment.
I thought I was gonna
promise
ask you
it's
to
not
dance, and I thought it was gonna be
If
hilarious.
it's not Aaron Shaw, one more time. You walk over, and it's kind of like passing. Hilton's at the bar now, looking way too sloshed. As dude just did 4 Romulan shots. Like, dude's gonna pass out so fast. He's not looking great already. Whatever you gave him got him buzzed way too fast. Going
He
in
can't
though,
hold his
of course,
Not my fault.
you go in and watch as Ensign comes over to you. You realize this is a human. Just hello. I'm Commander Cindy Weston. I've just been assigned to your ship. I'm one of the graduating class.
Oh, good to meet you.
Yes, I do believe you are the captain, of course,
Right.
Captain McTavish. I do have a question for you, sir.
All right.
It has come to my attention that I shall be working in the medical field. Do you understand who our chief medical officer is?
Aye.
Can you point them out to me?
It's that one there.
Where?
Yeah, that one there.
Dancing Muppet style, where that Muppet dance of like
Actually, once Pirates Do Not Do Anything came on, I'm like, this is a very Muppet-esque
the like
jam.
Yep.
hands to the
Well,
side,
there's the plant
held
people
up by
thing.
coat hangers. Do 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 do. This is a joke.
Nope. She's actually really good.
Excellent. Do you understand who the rest of my medical crew is supposed to be?
Not at the moment.
Thank you, Captain. I'll see you tomorrow during ship off.
I know.
Look at that
right?
baby.
This lady looks so pissed. Like, you've seen people that are mad at results of, like, not winning, and, like, she looks like the source loser of them all.
Oh,
As
she's
you-
gonna be alright, bitch.
Like, McTavish, you are looking, the crew, people are jumping up and down the walls, people are drinking. You watch at one point, Jack goes over and is, like, flirting with this girl, and just, like, going in and getting closer, closer, closer. And at one point, she's not a Vulcan, but you watch as this Trill woman goes in, grabs his neck, and just pinch the other side, drops to the ground like a sack of potatoes.
Nice.
And you watch Cadet Aaron Shaw and Gray come over and, like, kind of nod at you, Captain, and, like, scoop him up, just, and you say, Captain, I'm going to take him to his quarters. And just, like, drag Hilton out of the room. As he passes, Mama, I'm a pilot, Captain, Mama, I'm a pilot. Like, just, like, full out.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Shaw, can you and your buddy take him too?
Just, yeah, immediately. Yeah, Hilton is being scooped up and dragged. Like, they're gonna help take him home, as that actually is what happened last session. Hilton passed the fuck out when he hit on Alice and was a real douche about it, and she pinched his nerves.
I love that.
She got like a 28 or something.
Oh, it's
Is
brilliant.
that Shelby's character?
Because Hilton, fun fact, anyone that was listening, I would say, like, Mondo, Jamie, you were close enough. He's that, like, he got drunk and got creepy,
Yeah.
where it was like, so what are you? And you overheard Alice because it probably perked your ear of like, I'm gonna be a ensign in the medical team. And just, You a doctor? I need a doctor. I run hot all over. I can take my shirt off now. Like,
Very lucky you didn't try that.
and
with
it's
me.
very much you guys are like, he's our helmsman. Like, he's the guy that's gonna sit with us all day. Like, oh no. Take him off, of
From the
course.
balcony. Well, that was entertaining.
Yes.
Do you have any insights?
I think as the night goes on, we'll get to see even more shows.
Indeed. Shall I take notes and record it for you?
Aye.
Yes.
I begin recording.
Oh my gosh. You're gonna record. Great.
This is fantastic.
After, I will say, yeah, after Hilton's gone, you watch, the party becomes that rather fun vibe, I will say at this time.
As I'm recording, I'll make sure that my recording censors anyone of my bridge crew.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah,
Nice.
for sure. It's
What a
easy
So
to...
homie.
if Starfleet
What a
goes,
homie.
hey, let's
Plausible
check your
deniability.
brain. You guys are just a bunch of blurred out blobs.
What?
That
a
is
homie.
so clever. I love it. It's not like, be a homie.
What a
But it's going to be
homie.
helpful. Like, you kind of... Your tricorder is more built into you, actually. So it's not like, I can record up to a year's worth. I'll record the party for the memories. You actually see, like, the Philosian on stage, he set up his tricorder kind of like a musician or artist would. Like, I can get pictures of myself in the crowd while I perform, like, make a repertoire. The vibes get really nice at the party. Everyone gets that comfortable buzz on. You guys take a moment kind of in that open air balcony area where you watch, like, there's cadets that are hooking up here for hardcore. You watch as what seems to be like a Vulcan and a human like come very close. The Vulcan like full mind melts and the human just go, yes, and just like moan. And it's not like, all right, that relationship, I guess, like, go for it. And so it's not like, you guys can pick the hookup spot to go to, and you're like, let's go to the balcony. I'm like, good. Go for it.
Y'all made a mistake.
Y'all made a mistake. But it's still fun, where everyone's still having a good time.
I think I have an unhealthy curiosity now
Oh,
of who
no.
would go for a Muppet.
Jamie. I'm a Muppet.
This is a
Why do you
Megan
run
curiosity.
everyone
I don't
as
think
Okay,
Jamie's
Jamie's
even
not.
thought
I'm like,
but
do we
I
have to
as
figure out
Megan am
Jamie?
now so curious.
Who's
Oh my
interested in the
gosh.
Muppet? I actually am gonna make rolls. Here's what's fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I gotta roll 60, 20. So I'm gonna roll the first 4 of you over here. So here we go. We have our commander, our
have
first
no
officer, our
He's
science.
trying to figure out who would go for a Muppet.
McTavish, no one hits on you all night.
Thank
Oh.
It's too intimidating.
For sure, it's not only you're this giant old Cation, it's you're the captain.
Yeah, everyone knows this captain.
Everyone's like, holy shit, that's the captain. Like, people come up to you. You have a lot of people that come up like, sir, yes, sir. This is my full name. This is where I'm working. This is where I've come from. Please kiss my baby. Like, a lot of that natural, like, kiss assery, shall we call it. But you're like, all right. Mondo, you also don't get a lot of people, as probably, like, one person comes up one night. You see this dude comes up like, what's up? Is that not your face? Oh, it's a mask.
Oh look, drinks. And then I'm gonna walk away.
You walk away. Yeah, it's not like. Jamie, you get some polite flirting with some aliens. Like,
Just like confused.
for sure, there's some aliens that are like, so, like, you're a puppet.
Yeah, most days.
Most. Okay, like, I'm really. What is your deal? It's like, just everyone's very confused
that
about
so
what
much.
you are. The vibe is still fun. Fun fact, Katira. I rolled a natural 19.
That is not surprising for Katira.
Katira, there are 10 men, 3 women, and 2 other aliens of indeterminate who all hit on you. Well,
Duh.
like, hardcore,
I
like...
mean,
The saddest thing. Yeah, not the saddest thing. She's like,
leave.
I'm sorry, I took an oath.
I took it up too.
and we break our vows
So
together.
yeah, someone does that, like,
Vows,
would it not be romantic to break vows? One person, like, my oath actually, according to my religion, is to, like, have as many partners as possible. Part of my thing.
You know, that
Yes.
is really tempting. I wish that were around when I, took this one. Okay.
You say
But
someone
no,
like,
I can't.
hey,
I can't.
I'm gonna be working down on the botany deck, like, there's some great gardens down
I'll
there.
keep that in mind.
Like, a lot of like, you just have that constant people coming, hey, like, everyone wants to flirt.
And she's got to turn every single
Everyone,
one.
like, my vows.
She's
my
like,
vows.
I kept alcohol and drugs. That's what she.
I kept alcohol. I kept drugs.
I can
It's too
handle
late to
it.
change. I can't swap my vows now.
Nope.
And of course for you two, I am rolling with advantage as
I'm
you
really
two
interested
did
to
go
see
to
how
the
we-
spot.
Yeah.
Oh!
We're starting with Orson with a nat 20.
What?
Orson,
That's the best.
Orson
Uh,
turns into a sex bomb.
Stamina in a machine.
There
must
is-
be fantastic.
a woman comes up. Hey, how's it going? She kind of puts her hand. Oh, you're very cold. Are
Oh,
you not
yes.
human?
No, I am an android.
Oh,
Oh!
okay.
Is my inner temperature running lower than it should be? I
No,
should
not at
assist
all.
in diagnostics.
She like laughs a little, like you
You're so
are
funny.
insanely fun.
August rolled a nat
Oh my
20 for
gosh.
Orson.
So like, are you designed after humans?
Oh no.
Yes, I am designed to match the body structure of a human man.
Oh, no.
Interesting. You know, you seem like a great protector. Would you mind getting me home?
Ah!
If you need an
Are you
escort
going to
back
explain to
your
him at all what's happening?
Just letting it happen!
I just wait for him to be like, would you like to carpool
Well,
with the rest
if you
of my
require
crew?
an escort, I would be remiss not to oblige.
Let's go. She grabs your
For
arm.
people watching, this is like the fantastic show.
Yeah.
of the night.
I just wondered if you were going to be like,
Yeah,
hey,
Jumbo,
guys,
As,
this
just
is
like-
as I
not
walk
a
away,
jump
you'll get
Jumbo,
like a little
Jumbo.
ding on
Jumbo's
your,
like,
your
what
pad,
the heck?
Yeah.
and it's my location.
Find my android. Find my Orson. Just in case.
That's great.
Little fade to black, cause takes you home. You never
We
know.
don't know what happens.
Jumbo, you actually get a couple
I'm
people throughout the
behind
night.
Orson running away screaming when he figures out what she wants.
Orson.
That might
Oh,
be total.
oh,
I
oh.
might not just know your character.
That's
yet.
up to you
That's
and all
just
your
like my mental
imaginations.
image.
We're not
Or
gonna
if you
delve
want
that
to
in this
study human
cafe.
biology.
But
Maybe he already has.
Jumbo, you have a couple people come up to you. They're like, "Hey, Illyrian,
Yes.
so cool! Oh my gosh, I've always wanted to study biology. Like, so are you like really into science?
Oh yeah.
Interesting. What about chemistry?
Do not repeat that.
You see like a couple people like
Oh,
you get
no.
that line over and over
You made a
tonight of
racist
like,
shot.
are you interested in chemistry? What about chemistry? And you're like,
Well,
this
I had a
is.
question that I
yeah.
thought about in my head.
But a lot of good like
Oh,
you get a lot of good perspectives
Oh
of
my.
like,
It was
hey,
an
if we're working on
image,
the
it was
ship,
just
I'm gonna
words.
be down in engineering,
Words
or
and science
oh, I
images.
work on the warp core actually. Hey, you
I'm
know, if you're
serious.
ever down
People
and
I
like,
tell
so
stuff
you
and
get some
they're like, "Oh, I can't
numbers, some
remember."
people.
Like, to me, it's just words.
I got
Like,
6
it's concepts,
numbers.
but they're not
One
taking
more would have been a
pictures sometimes.
complete
It depends on
phone
the
number.
conversation.
Mhm.
It depends
Like,
on the
I love that.
It's just
quote.
words. And context.
Unfortunately, for anything like
Jumbo.
that,
Oh my gosh.
I see it. And
Okay, then I will.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the night comes to a wonderful close, eventually last call is made. Everyone's got to go home. I wasn't expecting Orson to get the nat 20.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
We
So,
lost our designated driver,
I've
but
looked
it's
at his
okay. I'm
location.
probably going
Has
to
he
be
made
able
I
to
haven't-
fix
I
it.
haven't
I already
drank
said I
anything.
didn't drink.
I will say only this. Orson is at the dorms.
Part of my.
Okay.
Orson is not in his dorm. And that is
It's
what
so-
Orson... Does Orson stay there that night?
Dice tell the story, baby!
Dice tell the story. Let's
That's a natural 20.
Orson
You know that
figured it out.
entire episode of Star Trek where Commander Data is trying to learn how to flirt?
Yes!
Being a new generation android, I'm already integrated with that sort of capability.
So you've got the flirt technology, and so it's like, well, let's figure this out.
May as well use it.
You
was
have
learning.
a big old fade to black. Like, what a crazy time.
I was not expecting. I'm
That
like,
is
I literally am like,
hilarious.
anything but a natural 20, he's being an awkward android.
That's what I'm doing.
He's not an awkward android.
Nope.
And this is where we're
I
gonna take
feel
a
like he's
break
gonna
of
walk
the
in
evening.
tomorrow with
She
like
can never go back.
sunglasses and like.
It's
We're just gonna be
Uh,
like,
It's like Wanda and Vision.
Yeah.
we are going to
Okay.
break. We will see you all in a moment. Bye bye.
Alex is like, we need to end this.
And we are back. Thank you so much for those that waited through the break. We come in, not in the party, but of course the aftermath. Everyone getting home safely in varying Ubers and Lyfts of the future, aka, right? Like, going home, everyone was feeling good. It was a really fun night. Because even those that came maybe a little more chagrined at their stations or maybe disappointed by their assignments, everyone still left with a good sense of camaraderie, a good sense of fun and health.
Especially Orson.
Especially Orson.
Oh yeah.
Orson, you had to... it's not a walk of shame when you're always an android, but very much getting back to your dorm, getting ready, of course, to leave in the morning. As you all know, 0700 hours at the shipyard. Be there or stay behind. It's kind of that like, oh no. McTavish, you are going to get...
Yes?
You checked out. It's like 04:30. Still a half hour before you're supposed to be up.
Yep.
2 members of MP, what we know as like military police, just come in. Captain McTavish,
Aye.
you're requested.
What's this about?
This is about one of your crew members, currently under course martial.
Alright.
Oh, it got fun.
You walk through, immediately are led out of the dorms over to more of Starfleet Command itself. You've been in these buildings for like lectures. All of you will notice do have to get different music. Walking in, immediately are greeted by some of the admirals. Captain McTavish, thank you for coming. You see Fleet Admiral Noble, Admiral Stansfield, Admiral Tmoon, Admiral Rickshaw, even a couple under admirals that maybe you don't know. Rickshaw. Captain McTavish, it's come to our attention that one of your crew members, one Jack Hilton, had illegal signage into some secure database last night. Can you tell us your last known location and sighting of this crew member of yours?
Last I saw him, it was at the club. He passed out drunk, and I asked some of the sergeants to take him home.
Right. We've been looking through some of the club. Do you have, what's the word I'm looking for? Any data, perhaps, on such the event? Anything that we can pull from?
I'm sure Orson was able to, would have knowledge of the event.
You see, Fleet Admiral Noble just... Excellent. I can message 0RS3M. You're halfway back to your door. And it's not like, I really don't need sleep, I'm an android. Uh-oh.
It's like, quick math calculation. I'm requested.
Mhm.
That's in the opposite direction.
Yep.
How quickly can I move and be there in uniform?
Make an athletics check.
I love this.
We've all been
Walk of
there.
shame.
You've just been called into work after a night out. It's like, gotta get home quick.
16! Not
16
terrible.
will pass the DC 15.
Alright.
You
Nice.
rush in, and it's very much that, like, also, like,
Yep.
doing the quick calculations, what do I also need, because what are the odds that I'm going to get back very low, grabbing literally everything, basically packing.
Sweet.
Uniform change.
Just quick inner sonic cleanser. Just. And I'm clean, and I smell
You're
like
clean.
Orson.
Yes, instead of, like, lavender and candle and other stuff.
Perfume, you weirdos.
Perfume, you weirdo. Yeah, well, it's like that natural, like, humans like the smell of cologne, especially when you go out clubbing, and so it's like, before you left for that, it was like, oh, I shall try a scent that most organic beings like. It's okay. Sonic says, so it's like, I'm now
It was
standard
the
regulation.
pheromones that made him irresistible.
Pheromones?
That's what the
I
natural
accidentally sprayed Orion pheromones.
I love it. No, yeah, Orson. Apparently, this is very good at being popular among human
Oh
clubs.
my gosh.
You walk top speed, as of course running wouldn't be regulations. Top speed walking, but yes, speed walking quickly up into this big old conference room. You see Orson approaches. Orson, welcome.
Admirals?
Commander, would you mind reviewing some of your video footage from last night's Stardate 72359, specifically around 2200
Real quick, I
hours.
gotta write down the 72359 for my notes.
Actually, let me make sure I tell you that correctly too for all of you, because that's going to be important, actually, so to
Yes.
speak. Is the star dates? Not all the time, but like especially last night, it sounds like it's going to be a little more important. 73925. I knew I did it wrong.
739273925. All right.
Mhm.
Do you have any specific requests of an hour block to look at? As I can break this segment up into any number of sizes.
Captain, about what hour did you say you saw Jack?
It was around blah 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 time.
Yes, very much, because like you guys showed up again at 10, so it was like 2200 hours was normal. I'm actually sending. This is the website you can use to find the stardate calculations that I use.
Oh, that's cool.
You're gonna want to go to the 24th century standard stuff, right? Like that's where you're gonna find it. So when you can put in and go, you know, for example, like 7-3, that date. Sorry. You can. This is gonna give you everything you're gonna want. So we know it's like January, like 6th, and if we were to look at, for example, 2200 hours, a little bit after, so we're gonna say maybe around like 35 minutes in, we compute the exact start date would be 73926.42. And that's the number we're going to put down. This is the important number.
6.92.
73926.42. This is the exact moment of like, this is when we were there, we were talking.
Absolutely. And I will show the footage and I will diagnostics ahead and cut it before I leave.
Yes, for sure. You watch and realize, looking through the footage, first of all, every member of the bridge crew is blurred. And looking through, Fleet Admiral Noble, 0RS3M, is there a specific diagnostics reason for the captain's blurred appearance?
What a weird glitch.
The diagnostic I am getting says that for some odd reason it was not, what's the word Sam's looking for? It was offensive to Starfleet regulations, but I do not compute why. As I detach it and I show the captain, completely agreeable.
For sure.
I believe it was just a system glitch, sir. I will have it diagnosed and fixed.
I want you to give me a persuasion check in this moment. And I
You
won't
got this,
totally
Orson.
explain why, but it is kind of an opposed persuasion of just like, because it's not just Admiral. A lot of Admirals are looking forward to being like, why is so many, like, the bridge crew, why are they blurred? Like, we see your reasoning, and yet we don't love it.
My
So-
persuasion has a
Persuasion.
-1, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy.
I have an 8 charisma.
Does anyone have inspiration?
That is a 14.
No one close enough by to get it, yeah.
I was gonna say,
A
I don't think I'm
14.
here, otherwise I'd use my thing.
I don't
Uh,
have
A
inspiration.
lot of Admirals kind of just, yeah, I mean, I guess that's nice to, like, not film the captain unless it's on-duty hours. But you see Admiral Nova just, Orson, accept new directive, record regardless of status.
Understood. Directive initiated.
He looks at, we start looking through the footage. Important to note, 73926.42 happened after Jack Hilton was already outside of the bar and gone. Remember, Orson didn't start recording until after everything happened.
No.
So we go through and like are finding like enough time. We don't even get to where the cutoff comes, of course, where before Orson gets approached. It very much becomes though everyone looking through this footage. Jack was already gone before Orson was able to record.
That is very interesting.
Intriguing. I must have begun my recording later than I intended.
Admiral, what time did this attempted sign-in take place?
This is where I'm going to give you the exact time, like exact like start of what they can give you. At 73926.38, or rather, at 10:10.
Okay.
There was an attempted sign-in. Meaning, if at about 10:35 this started, there is now 25 minutes of where's Jack, what's going on. At this point, a lieutenant comes in. You know, lieutenants that work here usually do a lot of the like footwork. Comes in, whispers some things in Admiral Noble's ear. It's come to our attention that Cadet Hilton is sound asleep in his dorm, and it seems that he has been there for the evening. We've checked our personal records, and he was taken by, well, what seems to be 2 cadets, but he looks over at Orson. The footage seems doctored, and we do not know which cadets brought him back to his dormitory.
Like Orson's footage is doctored?
More like
academies.
the academies
Yeah.
was doctored, and it's now that, don't like that. Admiral Noble, from what I understand, currently Jack Hilton is being interrogated under court-martial and does not remember anything after becoming too inebriated and passing out at the bar. Eyewitnesses, of course, being yourself, McTavish, do put him still at the bar at attempt of sign-in, but this is troubling, as who had his information and got in.
Interesting.
This is quite interesting.
Captain, sir.
Aye.
Which cadets did you ask to take back?
Oh, crap. What are their names again?
I'm going to ask this. If you don't naturally remember, I would love a history check, because you're a brand new captain. It's very likely you didn't remember.
I remember one of their names was Shaw.
You see Admiral Rick
of
Shaw
course that's what he remembers.
tenses.
Are you gonna do a history check?
Can I do a history check and see?
See if you remember the other one. For sure. For sure.
I
You know?
You also know why it might be a very bad thing if he does remember.
It's
From what
like
I
you
heard.
don't
I
want-
was there.
That's an 8.
Like,
Sean,
who is the
something?
like, you might, if you ever see the cadet again, you might be able to pick out the face, but just like, even if you went through every single cadet that could have been at the bar, it's gonna be so hard to remember. It's that.
Yeah. I'd remember his face if I saw him. He said something about being from the 21st century.
What?
Oh, Gus.
The 21st?
I do understand.
Wait,
We
what?
will,
What?
of course, speak with the cadets once they're on board. As if they are the ones from the doctored footage, it would more or less just appear that they brought the cadet home. You see Rick. Now, yes, Captain and Commander, please understand that these 2 ensigns, as far as our concerns, are made at 0.38 star date. It is clear that these cadets were also at the bar. We don't bring them under complete suspicion, but we would like anyone that had last whereabouts of Hilton to remain grounded before flight. You see, Noble. Well, officers, you better start preparing. 700 hours, I expect to see you at the ship dock.
Yes, sir.
You go, everyone, Stansfield, Tamu, Noble, Shaw, all of them are really like, this isn't great. A cyber attack happening on Starfleet using this ensign's data right after being made helmsman. Helmsman is, even though he's technically an ensign, making helmsman puts him in the same ranking group as a lot of you guys. A lot of that higher class info.
Was that the guy that was in our Kobayashi?
Oh no, that was Sour. He was like completely made up. This guy, Jack Hilton, he's like a real dude.
Oh, okay.
But he
He's
was
a
the one
drunk
that like
douche.
the drunk douchebag that hit on
that
Shelby's
was
character.
him.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
okay,
him.
okay.
And so it's that like, glad it's the douchebag, but it's still that like, that's interesting,
Yeah.
right? Like what's going on.
Is that the same one that hit on Lonnie's character?
Yeah, like he tried to
Everybody
Lonnie
hit
tried
on
to
Lonnie's
everyone.
character.
And then he went and took like 4 shots of Romulan ale, one after the other, and then just
He's annoying.
got
This guy gets around.
He got around, and so it's like obviously on merit, no one's that sad. It's like, all right, well, him. But it's still, a lot of the admirals don't love what has happened. In this moment, of course, everyone else is going to be waking up, starting to get ready. I would ask simple. Let's see. One. You're a Muppet. Mondo, for Marissa, do you think your character would have drunk it all last night, or like drunk to the point of buzz, or maybe just been there for more of the party?
I think he was just there more to observe in the party.
Mm.
He's a communications officer now, so well,
Right.
he wanted to observe and be more lucid than anything.
Because that's kind of part of what they've asked is like, hey, take this as an opportunity.
Yeah.
So for sure. So what I need is Katir, McTavish, and Jumbo. Would you guys make me simple Constitution saving throws? Waking up in the morning.
Sure thing.
At least they get to be saves this time.
It
Yeah.
saves. Right, we're back in the real world.
Good thing you're a barbarian.
My good
I got a nat
sir.
20.
You have
does
20.
this
You
one
have
look
to
different?
You can hold your
This is
liquor.
an
I have
person.
advantage because of my
Yeah, I
addiction.
guess.
You see what Mason rolled?
Did you also get that?
That's a nat one.
McTavish.
Oh, thank goodness.
The
I'm
fact that
not
you're
20.
even
It's a
able
little
to
that's
remember Aaron Shaw's name is a medical miracle.
Yeah.
As holy shit, that whiskey and cream is not sitting right. Every light hurts. Everything. This Earth atmosphere is so fucking annoying. Like everything is such a migraine right
Is
now
he
for
like
you.
this as we leave the admirals?
Just like fold my ears
The
down.
second it
Sir,
goes in-
I am surprised that you held yourself
22.
up among
Good.
the admirals.
So am
You
I.
and Katira are gonna
Quite
hold
a
you like
burst
you're like.
of
Yes.
a stimulant. I have.
Oh, yes, please.
Perfect. I'm going to, because I have a spell. I have the equivalent of Star Wars' healing word.
Yep.
So I will just.
Oh.
Huge shot, pure hydration, saline, and adrenaline. Kicks all the right system, flushes your system. Like, it hurts for the half second. Oh my gosh, so much better.
Oh.
Also, I have as he will open his chest cavity. You see the uniform opens a little bit, and you see multiple different needles. He's like, any situation in which, and he will actually put up a magnetic field so that the academy can't hear what he's saying.
Interesting. Little block.
I have the ability to engage honesty via science. I also have the ability to paralyze any known humanoid in our database.
That might come in handy.
With this, can you make me a brief? We're gonna call it interference check. Usually it's a ships. I want you to make this. It'll be using your intelligence, but
Like
no
a
proficiency.
intelligence cap. Why am I?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause,
So
yeah,
+5.
not like a big saving throw or anything, but it's kind of that like a general. You're putting a magnetic field, trying to make sure like
24.
24. You think will pass for sure.
Sweet.
In this
I
moment.
will drop it.
Right, if you're ready to go, we need to pay a visit to Hillman.
Absolutely, sir.
Because, August, you said he's still in his quarters, right?
Hilton is still in his quarters for sure. He's under court martial. He's not allowed to leave. They're interrogating him.
Does he
Would you
know
like
what
me to
happened?
accompany you, sir?
As
Right.
far as they told, no. But so, all right.
We'll tell him.
Shall
We'll
I?
head over.
Shall I page your first officer or no?
No. She's alright. Let her sleep. But we'll need a
Katir
bucket
and
of
her
I
water.
just appear behind you.
Yes.
Are you okay?
Like, are you asking in character? Or?
Yes.
Yeah, full character.
Oh,
She's
you're
that.
much better functioning
I
now
love
after
it.
I gave him a burst
You,
of
you know how to wake up
insanity.
early. You had a nat 20. Yeah, you had the best night of your life. Woke up, no hangover. Like, oh, okay, I guess I'm first officer. I gotta like find the captain now.
Sorry,
you
not
can,
middle rope.
yeah, if you guys
Oh,
want to head over to
gosh.
Hilton's quarters, you can.
Well, alright, yeah, come along then. You're right here.
Okay.
You remember that douchebag helmsman?
Yes.
Yeah, he's been court-martialed.
Oh, thank heavens.
Oh,
Who do we have
no.
instead?
Huh?
Do we have anyone new?
That's the problem.
No, he's still with us.
No, in
What?
fact,
Oh, he's
as
not still with
Ding.
us?
you get a report on your data pad.
Oh.
Goodness.
Oh,
It
I
seems-
spoke too soon.
Ensign Lily Turner, who invited you to the party.
Oh,
is
I
now
don't
gone.
like this.
Didn't Lily hit
The
me a little
pushy
bit?
busybody.
A little bit. She's also the one that
one?
invited you guys to the bar in the
Was
first
that-
place.
Okay.
So that this
She
is a pushy busybody.
absolutely
Yep.
was behind something. To
I mean, if
Oh, that's gonna
Patty
be
asked
fun.
Orson to vouch for
Huh.
her, he might.
Huh.
Oh,
Because yeah,
that was the one you went with?
not the one that's our helmsman, but the other one.
Yeah.
We
the
may
friend
have
of
to
the-
have a talk
The
with
friend
her.
of
Oh,
Lily's daughter that
definitely.
took me home.
Gotcha.
One of Lily's friends,
That's right.
what you
Another
could just call her Patty. Yeah, one of Lily's friends is Patty and Alice and these other aliens. Yeah, so like Patty might be able to help vouch, but yeah, Lily is now the new because with the court martial, it's like this isn't going to be resolved by the time we need you guys to
I
get to the
smell
ship.
a rat. Unfortunately, I don't think Muppets can actually smell.
But yeah, she's
I have a
definitely
funny,
sketchy.
filthy feeling there is a furry little rat. Like, yeah. You guys head over to the dorms. Immediately greeted by MP, who just Hold, please. We're gonna need to see some clearance before speaking with Jack Hilton.
Absolutely.
Like all of you kind of showing just Captain, Commander, yes, within regulations, we do have something here from, it seems, Admiral Stansfield and Admiral Noble to not let him be spoken to right now. And you know, like, easy enough. Basically, there's a high regulation right now of, like, don't talk to him, but you know if you pressed, it's easy enough. Like, it wouldn't be a check. It's just that, like, these two guys are like, we're not supposed to let him talk, but you are all ranking.
I will look to the captain.
Well, he was a member of my crew. I want to have a word with him.
Yes, Captain. They step aside.
They did their jobs.
Yeah, it's like they were always supposed to ask. Walking in, you see Jack is standing there. There are two MP in the room, like hands on phasers and just like at attention. Sits out just. Oh, Captain. You. Hey. I'm sorry. What's going on?
Well, you done fecked up this time.
We were at the bar. And then I went to bed.
Yeah. Some of your stuff got stolen.
What are you talking about?
You're off the crew.
No.
It's not coming from me.
Actually,
That's from
can
the higher ups.
No.
Try something. Can I do insight to see, is this normal hungover or hungover from drugs?
Yes. Oh, that's super
Good
smart.
idea.
To
Go
see
ahead.
if Lily roofied him.
Make
Yeah!
I'm gonna say
Totally.
make an insight check, hardcore with advantage.
I think there are multiple things going on.
Oh yeah.
This might be
Okay.
multiple. Oh no, plot? Like, yeah, that's what I do.
Oh no, this isn't just fun.
Conflict?
Conflict? Interesting.
I mean, she did some small scale petty thing to try and get in his
18.
place, but then this is also something
18.
And someone else took
screen-
advantage
Here's
of
what's
it.
fortunate.
Yeah.
Even on an
Because
18,
I also know something
it's
about it.
that always
hardcore,
told me about that I know is happening.
shall I
but we
say,
don't know what's happening
definitely
yet.
hungover.
And then I know
You
something
do
about
get the
Jess's
feeling
character.
maybe there's a bit of like drug. It's like it's hard to tell.
Yeah,
Like
and I think all of that was
He
he
just
could have
taking
had some
advantage of the whole
minor
thing.
stuff going on, like maybe like a little upper to like help with the buzz. So it's hard to be like you couldn't completely rule it. I will say it was a DC 20 to like know for sure.
You're good.
But it's that definitely though still a hardcore. And I sit there. Well, I'm off the crew. No, okay, I'm
Captain,
sorry.
would you
Like,
me to give him a shot.
Yes, please.
I'll give him adrenaline and saline.
I'm going to.
oh,
Captain.
ow, thank you,
Can we?
Sorry,
have
I
one more?
usually do not tell
course.
before I shot because then people cringe.
We
Orson.
may have
Your
one
scanner's
more
picking
info
something up on his
source.
body.
I don't know.
I
whether or
would
not
like to
we're filling this.
identify
We
the
might
thing.
want
Make
to
investigation check.
send to the med bay.
You could find out if it was.
It's your passive insight's what good is.
Natural 13 with a total of 18.
Ooh.
Orson, before you pull what's on his body, if you reveal whatever this is, Hilton will never be on a ship again. If you don't, he might one day be able to rejoin the crew of the Confidence. It's your choice.
But he doesn't know what it is yet.
You don't know. It's like in this moment, as you go for like,
what a nat 13
like
decision.
quick like scan. Okay, you're fine. There's something here. But before you know what it is,
I want
if
to
you
know if it's
reveal it,
planted or not.
could be a plant, could be something.
What would Orson do?
Orson, this is why Sam feels bad. Orson's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so
Orson will
too.
just.
Quick question: are we all there?
No, it's just the
those
three. Top and Android. Like you
Because I
guys,
was
it's not
thinking
like
stuff I
waking
could
up
do,
and
but
like.
I
mean, I would as
It's-
Orson.
I'm doing my morning
It's
exercise.
only 0500. We've got time to
As
stretch,
Orson, though,
eat
if
before
I
going
do
to
feel
sleep.
this is something big, I will attempt a sleight of hand.
You can't.
As
steal them
you
if
pull
brought
it
them.
out,
That's like,
Agreed.
they are already yours.
This
Oh.
is
I'm with
a
Megan
bag of pure crystalline red spice.
Sleight of hand at all to try to.
Go for it.
So
Because you know,
spices
the
is a
second you
druggy
see
thing.
it, this is the hardest shit
17.
ever. 17. I gotta make a check. First of all, that's gonna pass your passives. For first Jack. He fails. For the MPs. They fail. Only you have seen this.
Right.
So you start pulling it out, realize what it is, what do you do?
I am going to stick it
Run.
inside my chest cavity and detonator it.
Oh.
Destroyed. I will say, kind of like, I'll have to check out. Could have been using this. That could have been actually his stash.
Yeah.
Or it could have been planted. Who knows?
Either way, it's a variable that I don't think we need to deal with.
You've given it
You
brings a
should-
variable to Jack Hilton's story.
You should let us know because
Jack
I will be
Hilton will
wary
remember.
of
I'm
his
reporting it
voice
to the
on
captain.
Oh yes,
You're
but
technically above me because you're first officer,
Lieutenant
but otherwise
Commander,
we share
yeah.
the same.
That's true.
Otherwise,
cool.
we share the same.
no, actually, Lieutenant Commander is above Commander.
Ooh.
First officers get promoted to Lieutenant Commander
Yeah, that's what I'm
for
saying.
the express
is
purpose.
Aside
Yes.
from the first officer thing.
Yes,
she
I
wouldn't
see what
be
you're saying. In this moment, then, you guys can leave. Jack's just kind of sitting there, just like, oh, I'm gonna tell my mom. Like, it's just like, just that natural, like, he doesn't.
Unfortunate complications always occur. I hope you take the best efforts you can to improve your career here at Starfleet, and do not become discouraged.
You're grounded for now, but you might be on the ship again.
And hey, word of advice: check your drinks and anything else whenever you're at a club.
Why would I need to check a drink?
Have you never had? Okay.
You're talking
Don't
to
let someone
the
frickin'
straightest
put
white
something
man
in your
ever.
drink.
Like, it's not like he's totally not kidding. It's not like, why would I ever want to check a drink? It's so weird.
Never mind, you deserve it.
The,
No sympathy.
I think it's that look of just like, geez,
aggressively rude.
you guys walk out, the
I
Anthony's close the door.
I like you, Orson. We're good.
We are going to cut over at 0700 hours, where everyone is starting to converge in the ship docks. Lining up, passing the academy, rows upon rows of these small transport shuttles. Getting in, 4 to a crew, takes off and starts puttering upwards out of the atmosphere, higher and higher. Light early morning blue becomes black with the sun starting to peek over the globe of the Earth. Out in space dock,
I'm sorry, I'm getting
grand
so excited.
silver plating, twin engines behind
Yes.
the USS Confidence.
Oh.
It's your guys' ship. It's ready for you. And as these little line of what we could look like ants marching towards the ship, all the transport shuttles one after the other, the crew of the Confidence approaches. And we are going to take you on a very brief, fun little tour of your ship. I have to get some of my notes ready. Unfortunately, I didn't get all the what's the word I'm looking for? Visuals ready, but I assume everyone knows what the Enterprise looks like. Force 60% is actually a little bit bigger than the Enterprise. It's the last of the Constitution ships to be made, bigger than the Enterprise.
Cool.
The USS Confidence is a large Tier 3 ship made by the United Federation of Planets as a Constitution class. Over 2 million credits have been invested into this ship as it is an explorer specialized role. A 16 strength, 14 dex, 22 constitution, 14 intelligence, 10 wisdom, 10 charisma.
The ship has an intelligence.
It's an AI. It's an artificial intelligence.
Well, and its intelligence,
That's like
fun fact,
Orson.
it has some fun stuff. We'll get to that in a second. An arm class of 17 with what's called damage reduction of 8, meaning it can reduce damage coming into it from just light, quick shots.
I do have a quick question, actually.
Yeah.
I'm getting David Weaver flashbacks. Have you read Dayhack?
I've not, actually.
Okay, so
No.
is this going to be the kind of artificial intelligence that makes us cry if it
No.
dies?
Fun fact, the ship, its artificial intelligence only goes as far as to, like, auto-run certain
Okay,
tasks.
cool.
Yeah,
Just
Nothing
making sure.
to the... Yes.
Like, I do
same
not need to
kind
get
of
emotionally
ship or
attached
ship
to a
does
ship.
not
Have
as-
personality.
The ship has a fly speed of 400, a turning speed of 300,
Pull a Vaggie and kill us all.
a warp core
He already did this
0.5
with Prime
class.
Meridian, and I'm still not over it.
The shield maximum is 79 with the hit point maximum of 92. You've got double laser cannons, a extra turbo laser with 3d12 energy output, torpedo launchers and bomb deployers, some pretty big stuff. You've got a couple fun abilities called Blockade Runner and Versatile Frigate, which help with reactions upon getting hit to gain advantage and whatnot. Your ship does run in what's called a hub and spoke power system with the warp core, meaning in the central storage system, like you kind of saw in the simulation, you have 6 power die that are D8 and 3 in system storage in different systems. these are congruent with every party, meaning if a number party member uses some of these dice, it is used for everyone until they are replenished. So it's going to be a little bit of that, like if you want to use power die, you might want to, before a session ends, help restock stuff before the next crew comes in and goes, uh-oh, we tried to do a cool shield thing and we're out of dice. Like, we all have some of these
Yeah, that
dice
makes
to share. Fun stuff. Ship modification capacities, of course, are super nice, actually, where you've got, out of the max 50, you've got 46 mods available. You do have to dock in a Federation-assigned planet to modify the ship further. You're not technically allowed to do that just anywhere. And you do have an extra suite, big room style to add in if you ever feel the need as well. You also have some extra fixed hardpoints and turret hardpoints for extra weapons if you ever want to add them. As you go through, again, lieutenants are taking you guys through this fun little, here's what you need to know. First thing they take you, of course, is the med bay. Jamie, you're going to love this. 10 bio beds, and using the Star Wars term for back to tanks, more heavily, if you need to, put someone under heavy stuff. There is both mess hall with fun little booths and little transporter replicators to make your food. Luxury quarters. They spared no expense for our graduating class. Each of you will have your own private room.
Ooh, nice.
Fully customizable as you wish. Keep in mind, when you complete a long rest in your suite, your exhaustion levels will be reduced by 2 instead of only 1.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
Really good.
Luxury quarters. They want to make sure that you guys are well loved.
We are being pampered.
You've got a security suite where you've got a brig of about 100 cells, a compact armory that could, about 2/3 of the crew could be fully geared out if needed, and a secured storage with a key and code that only a captain would know if you want heavy lock and key. You've got, of course, your small transport escape pods, about 100 of them that can, with 4 crew member max total capacity. Each of them with warp drive capability, but class 15. It couldn't get you somewhere as fast as the ship itself. There's some damage control stuff in the engines to be able to patch a tractor beam, an invulnerability drive where if you activate it for 1d4 rounds, you're immune to all damage and your speed is halved. Really nice stuff. You've got the Mark IV scanner, which gives you expertise in your probing and scanning checks. A nav computer, which gives you expertise on astrogation, and you reroll ones. You've got a comms packet where you could, in theory, suppress a target planet-sized, full communication from the full planet. Amphibious systems with adaptive ailerons where you can go underwater and your AC is actually buffed when you're in an atmosphere. Anti-boarding systems, so people can't just auto jump onto your ship or try to breach a hole. Tons of great adaptive plating. The ship's armor is insane. You've got shield resistance to energy and kinetic damage and hull resistance to energy and kinetic damage. Anything is halved at you unless it's wildly specific damage.
Fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your plating is top of the line to provide the best AC, 17, as well as it's reinforced for that damage reduction of 8, where you could, in theory, not take some damage. Oh, also, you can't be crit upon. That's really nice. You've got a Mark V frame. It gives you a lot of hit points. You've got then what's also called special rounds, where if you crit, have advantage and hit both, or they have disadvantage and fail on a check, you can make some of your damage blinding, ionizing, shocking, or stunning, depending on how you want. And that's retroactive of, hey, we crit on it. And you could, in theory, apply all types of damage. Say, let's do it all. But there's then some, saves they would have to make, and in theory, it may be helpful or hurtful.
So stunning and blinded and everything as those actual D&D conditions.
Mm-hmm. To a ship.
Oh,
A ship could be blinded.
dang.
And, of course, you have what's called Gauss rounds, where you reroll 1s and 2s on damage die with your primary and secondary weapons.
Nice.
So your turbo laser, 3d12s, reroll 1s and 2s. Crazy, right?
I like that.
You've got
Like
thermite
reroll
torpedoes,
just
plasma
right.
torpedoes, advanced proton torpedoes, EMP bombs, gravity bombs. Insane stuff. Crew of 300. This is where, of course, the captain, they're going to talk you through. The ship can hold up to 500 tons. You're barely capping out at 50 tons right now. You could hold multiple zoos in your ship and
That's
not
awesome.
even
That is
and have
fantastic.
room to move. You've got
Yeah.
space.
Let's-
Question. Can
I
we
wanna start
hold
with
more
one
but
zoo and then
move
we'll go
slower?
from there.
Yeah.
Are we able
got
to
a
have
zoo!
more weight than that, but then our speed would be halved or something?
Actually, it is
hard
due to
limit?
ships. It is a hard limit.
Okay, good to
Unlike
know.
normal, like ships in an atmosphere, you can overload and move slower. In space, it's that like the ship, it would be too dangerous, and the warp core has settings to be
So,
like too much. We can't
if
safely
we are in
push.
an atmosphere, yes. If we're outside of a planet's atmosphere, no.
I don't think we ever need to worry about that.
Yeah.
It might come up.
Important to note as well, we're kind of gonna go through a bit here, as we need to look at some of your guys' deployments. Well done! Oh, God!
She deserved it.
Oh, got him! Well done! That was, you were waiting. That was like most
Thank you so
perfectly
much.
timed. Wow.
Game respect game.
Oh, the game's a game. Holy crap.
I forgot we were on
That was
screen.
hilarious.
I don't think that was Lonnie.
Oh
I
my
think
God,
that was
just
No,
pure
that was me.
Katira.
No, just kidding. It was Lonnie.
Sorry.
Mondo just walks by.
That'll be an interesting
Captain's
dynamic.
ears look up.
We have. Oh, this bridge crew is going to be insane. Of course.
Oh my gosh. We're just gonna have a conversation. Actually,
You've heard of slap
I could
bench, but have
totally
you heard of
see oh my gosh. Sorry,
As
sorry.
we come in, we see the last room they wanted to show you. We see
That was interesting music.
Yes.
Country room?
an interesting looking room. The bridge.
Yeah.
As we see, kind of like your simulation. There's a captain's chair, dead middle. There's a chair left and right, you know, kind of in front. There is a chair off to the left, which you know for communications. A chair to the right, which you know can be for like sciences and medical. And of course, there is a chair now positioned right by the captain for first officer. In this moment, I'm going to pull up a really fun. I love this. Someone has made full ambient noises of the bridge.
Oh,
That's
This
awesome.
is really cool. Sitting here, you're counting out. There's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You actually know, of course, technically, you're going to need to be in med bay most of the time. And you're probably going to need to be at the warp core 24/7, right? But best cons, let alone even if ship communications, your comm badges, of course, are able to communicate with each other, which basically ever denotes. But important to note, the ship is functioned where being at your stations in medbay and warp core allow you the same privileges as if you were at the con. Where in an extreme scenario, you might be able to make a high enough check and fly the ship even from these remote stations.
That's cool.
Because they want to
Good
make
thing
sure,
we got
like,
the high intelligence characters.
Yeah,
Right,
right.
yeah.
No kidding.
where is that, like, we gotta make sure. Star Trek, I mean, they've seen their fair share of problems, like, oh no, everyone on the bridge was taken over by the Borg, and, well, now you're stuck. Well, what if we have a officer in other places that can then promote safety and security, and a lot of safety. What I will ask then, as we're starting to get into this, we're going to start talking about deployments, especially for you guys. This is something a little more optional for the rest of the crew, but deployments are special classes, basically, to let you use the power die of the ship. And kind of also that power of, like, your roles as chiefs and commanders, like, of your respective fields. We do have coordinator, where coordinator works best for, of course, a captain or a first officer. Coordinator is what's going to help provide motivation and organization to crews. We do have a gunner's station, where someone can be more in charge, of course, the weapons. A mechanic to control energy production and flow of ship. Keep in mind, energy production is how you gain back power dice. Operators, of course, are what we know as, like, communications. Pilot, which you know, helmsman Lily Turner is going to be the one doing that. So Lily's going to take piloting, but of course other people can.
Quick question. For the actual layout of the bridge, what is closest to piloting? Like what
Close-
is next to either left or right or whatever.
Yes, piloting is on a captain's left-hand side, and the technician or gunner, it can be either one, would be on the right. Where it's like a captain would sit middle, and going very Constitution class ship like Enterprise would, you've got your helmsman sitting on a captain's left, like in front of him, and then a ship's technician or gunner on the right to deal with that. And it varies. Sometimes a helmsman also will take the role of the gunner, maybe if they need to be like multi-class, we should say, or you might have it elsewhere. But that's kind of how they've set up, is like, so you can have immediate gunner here, other technicians communications on the left and right around the outside, and of course I should say the bridge is open enough where other ensigns who maybe either are focusing in that day or being brought in for special assignment of like, well, I would like someone with high language skills to take a look at whatnot. It makes it that like there's multiple spaces, so it's not like crowded.
Nice.
I think I need to take a linguist feat.
It might be very helpful. You never know. Again, technically right now I think we've got 2 characters that speak a ton of languages.
I wonder if we chose like different languages as well, because that would then cover more gaps.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Because
interesting.
you have to be a med base, so then I'd want the other one who's good with languages on communications.
Well, I think
Well,
she
and
is
that's
chief
what-
communications
What?
officer.
Chief
I think
commu-
she is chief
Oh, she
communications
is? Oh,
officer.
thank goodness.
Yeah, Marissa is already chief communications, so
Thank goodness.
you're the person. Like, I think Megan may have more languages, but it's still that like, all right, you're next best. Like,
Just something to throw on everyone's plate as well. If we have like an extra deployment that we don't fill, I think Orson can run it double team in the warp core if needed.
if you were needed to, it's like it would take some intensive training, but you could. It is possible to multi-class a
yeah,
deployment.
so
It's just
definitely
it can
willing
be.
and happy to do that if y'all have an extra position you need taken care of.
Cool.
So that's what I want to ask. Like, what do people want to fill? What would be that like? Oh, this could be a really fun thing to help either in my own personal or maybe just for the ship itself. Like, I guess I'll take this because I need to.
I kind of want to take one that's closer to the helmsman because I want to keep an eye on her.
If you want to take one close, fun fact: you are literally sitting on the right hand
That's
of the
kind
captain
of what
already.
I was thinking.
So you're already like captain's chair, your chair. Like it's meant to be that like, and of course another chair can be brought in like if you want a personal advisor, like someone like, hey, I think this. I want someone also here who's not like my first in command, but someone else I would like want on the bridge. It's an
This is
option.
my second counselor.
Exactly right. It just they usually set it up very simply first off to be like captain first officer. In this, so let's start looking at some of this stuff. This is fun fact. Yeah, the other groups, it's that we worry about it in their week. This is part of your guys' session as part of the bridge crew. Is we got to figure out a little of before we can take off who's going where.
I mean, I can instantly take mechanic.
Yep.
Because I'll be in the warp core.
Okay.
But I also loved technician during the sim, so if that's
Technician's-
open at the end.
Technician
You'll take
mechanic
it.
could also be very helpful because you would be the energy production flow and patching the
Yeah, I
ship.
was gonna say
As
that's
well
a
as
really good
technician
combo.
running the
Yeah,
shields
because then
also
like
itself.
technician, I could be like
Yeah, I
if
feel
we're in a
like
fight
those-
running the shields, and then if I need to switch and replenish stuff.
I feel like those
So-
responsibilities can very much overlap.
Yeah, so I think that's not bad for you to just go
So,
ahead and
but
make
if
those
someone
rolls
else
off
wants
the bat.
technician, it's all yours.
Yeah.
But I will take mechanic.
Is anyone emotionally attached to technician?
Nope.
Cool, I guess it's all yours.
Cool. We'll work through multitasking. It might be a bit rough in
I'll
the
start
process,
out
but it's
focused
not
on
possible.
technician because I can
Yeah.
mechanic.
Yeah. I feel as well since you're an android, you're so
I know, I'm
efficient.
like, I kind of
Here we
like
go.
that.
Would anyone like to be an operator? Again, using ships to locate, monitor, interfere, disable enemies. Like, a lot of stuff can be an operator.
Is that
Is that
something
part of
I could do for?
communications? Oh.
As a captain, you could. It's mostly either captain or first officer is usually advised to be like at least a coordinator, because that's what basically think of it like a bard type deployment,
Yeah.
where it's like you're going to be using
can
the
take
power dice
coordinator.
to help everyone else. It's made like I can sit here and just focus on people.
Okay.
Operator is very much like locate, monitor, interfering. Think like I'm using communications like a communicator to like scramble their systems or look at stuff like when we did our sim, the external and internal ship communications of not only what they're talking, what we're talking.
Would that be underneath?
That
my
would probably be
umbrella?
under yours
I could
if you
do
want that.
Maybe if that's
Yeah.
helpful. Okay.
And of course, you don't have to also like pick because with the deployment you get specific powers. You get to pick to say like I want these two. That's what we'll do throughout the week is like look at those. So yeah, taking operator at least. So we have like an operator, a technician going maybe into mechanic eventually. Ensign Lily will take some piloting. Important to know, she is like the helmsman. multiple ensigns are going to rotate through because, of course, it's not like we got to train, we got to learn.
No, that makes
And so
sense.
she's just like the one that's supposed to be on call. Like it's
Yeah.
like, oh, we're about to go into battle. You're our pilot. It's a red alert. And sorry, ensigns, we need you to like chill. Like if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have other stuff. Anything that sounds fun to people.
I'm fine with any of them. So.
Okay.
This is side note, not for Orson, but something I thought of when you brought up the extra chair we could put there as an extra advisor. I was thinking because if you're going to be in the med bay and you could be up in that chair, so you can run systems from the chair, but
could.
also have that spot.
Yeah.
Sure.
That was my thought because chief science officer, pretty smart.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
If you want to. All right.
For it.
So right now, what roles aren't filled?
Yeah.
Right now, the rules. Oh yes, important. So like again, one of you two, it's advised to take coordinator. So no one's officially taken a coordinator. There is still the gunner, someone who just focuses more for the weaponry. Mechanic to be filled, so we're not going to go into that one. We have an operator. We have a pilot. So, again,
So am
we'll
I the
take
operator
pilot.
then? We
You're going to be
decided-
operator. And again, people can take
Operator.
multiple. It's just like it's what you take is going to help with like the powers you can provide. And technician. So it really is coordinator and gunner right now. Just the first two that have yet
You
to
want
be like
coordinator or gunner?
I'll take Gunner.
I kind of thought so.
a captain who is more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
love that.
you're gonna be the one to. You're gonna not only give the orders, but make sure you take more command of the weaponry. I like it. Would you like to have coordinator?
Sure thing.
Yeah. All right. So you're gonna have the motivation, organization to the crew. You'll be in charge of the weapons. Eventually,
know
we'll
how
get
to
to the more mechanics and energy production,
that's
but
right.
of course, technician now. We have, of course,
run
an
through and smack
operator's position to locate on in the field, a
You
pilot,
said it before I could formulate it. Gosh damn.
and so you guys can take whatever you want. Again, you guys do have some of
Would
those
it
more open
be
roles.
redundant
The
for me
meetings
to
will
also be a
continue
coordinator?
until
Just because
morale
it seems more like
improves.
stuff I could do
I was
from
just
med
thinking,
bay.
So keep in mind with coordinator, it's actually not redundant at all because
Yeah.
remember
I think
initiative
you got
isn't
that.
the same.
Yeah.
It is a group thing, and so if Lonnie as a coordinator is like, oh no, I really want to use a power die to do a coordinated power of like heads up, which is something where it's like we're gonna add initiative bonus to our AC real quick.
Nice.
But in the same vein, it's like, but we're already getting attacked, and we'd love to use that same coordinator ability to give a crew heads up. It's something called Watch Out, where it's like our personal ACs can. But it helps to have maybe two in the same vein, because then you can cover
pick
more
different
Then you
ground.
can do
abilities,
both
yeah.
of that, yeah.
Even if you pick the same ability, yeah, it's like I can't do it twice, but if you help out,
Two of us
it's
can
very
do
much.
it.
It's never redundant, thankfully. It's a great system where it's like you can have that fun and openness.
I think I might do that then, because
Coordinator,
that's
yeah.
something that doesn't seem. A lot of them are so specialized. I'm like, I can't see that working
Yeah.
very well from a med bay.
The only real thing is keep in mind you guys will just share the 3d8 for the coordinators and just but of course there is a central hub where Orson's going to be taking charge of like
Right.
if people need extra power from the warp core where to send it.
Okay.
Is there anyone that stands out to you? Again,
Let's
you
see.
can double up
So,
on it.
They're all like taken right now, right?
Currently we should have a
I
good
do-
spread.
Yeah. Can I just hop on as like a technician for when he does need to do mechanical stuff?
Yeah, that's super smart. so
Oh,
having
that
two
makes sense,
technicians,
yes.
again, giving a good
Yeah.
spread. And then when you're going to try to hard multi-class and get the mechanic,
Cool.
it still keeps someone
That's
that
a
can
really
do
good
that.
idea.
That's super smart. And of course, technician should help because it's going to give you great ship defense, personal defense, and shield protection. So
Yeah.
like a lot of stuff that should help with science.
Perfect.
Awesome.
I think we've got it pretty well assigned, actually.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, well done. As sitting on the crew, on the bridge, everyone's getting to their stations. There's just the gentle hum of the ship. You hear that warp core in the background of the ship constantly. Everything is very still. Looking out at the expansive nebulae and stars before you. Ensign Ensign Turner kind of looks just excellent. Captain, any messages for the crew before we head out?
I stand up in front of the captain's chair, kind of tug down on the bottom of my uniform.
It's a stand and tuck. Very Picard.
He's gonna do the whole dad thing.
Oh, that'd be hilarious when you
Let
say.
me see it one more time. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I do that.
Cargo
Yeah.
short pull.
Yes.
Every captain
Yes.
sits in a chair in a specific way, but Cavish does the short pull. No, for sure. You stand up and do that very Picard-like,
Sorry, I didn't
pull
mean
the
to
shirt,
go
stand up.
I love that.
All right, everyone. We got a big job to do. Remember, if we got to do something stupid, do it quick so there's less time for things to go wrong. And I sit down in the captain's chair.
Okay, maybe this will work.
I will say, Mondo, you probably were handling that as communication officer, like open a channel to the whole crew. Ensign Turner. Excellent, Captain. Our current mission parameters are to begin exploration.
All right.
Anyone in particular?
What would be a good spot to take off to?
Good
Something
choice. Some fun?
dangerous.
Let's go to the Klingons and
Do
see
we
if
have
they're actually.
any knowledge or guidelines to help with this?
Right now, it's
Pops up in
more
my head is, I guess
head
I'll
out
be
and
right,
start
and
fulfilling parameters.
Set a
Wait, what's the
course.
warning?
Set a
What's
course
the
to the
warning?
Imperium.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Thank you. I was like, what is that?
Galactic Imperium?
Yes,
The Alpha Lower Quadrant?
indeed.
Very well, Captain. They turn just like, okay, we're going hard already. Off to the edges of space in the Imperium.
I mean, why not? We're here to what?
What, an exchange
Explore?
student? Is that what we're calling him? An
Yeah, I mean,
ambassador?
you
What is
have
he?
one of your crew is a genetic warrior of the Imperium. These like clone soldier thingies. Lily, Ensign Turner puts it up. Go ahead. When you're command captain.
Go for it.
That's where we're gonna end tonight's session.
Woo!
Thank you
That
all
was
so
an
much for playing.
interesting
Thank you all for watching.
So I
will
assume
see you
that
all
you
next
told
time.
us about
Goodbye.
the spices